We are trying to I think there's a video because whenever they come to get this, they can. We don't we got to that no, I didn't. You want to use. We're trying to say, we see consent and reimbursement. I understand. And you guys are going to be one thing. I know. You'll be fine. But I'm figuring out ways to do it. No, I have like in a I'm scared of this. I went to I know. I didn't really get it. Look at me go.
As we go on.
Social means I'm scared. I know.
That's explaining here. Oh. I got an email today from our student agency. Do you think they're gonna?
No idea.
Why the Indian?
Oh, yes. Hey.
That email doesn't go to me, it goes to the board chair. I can post it if you beg. That ain't my.
Yeah, well, that's about PR.
You yelled up to.
So I got on.
You got it. I'm the chair.
Okay, for the.
Yep.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, no worries. All right, bud.
It's a little sad. But I already have. Hi.
No, that's what I mean, like, I'm actually.
But you don't really care.
But yeah, like, in the future.
That's it.
Like, I. That's it.
How'd hockey go?
So they ended up being the runners up.
Yeah.
They were the only team to score against the Canadian team that won it.
Ah,
Dawn, can we
So-
get 1 minute to go to that?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. No worries. So yeah, so it was, I mean, all in all, like they really, Canadian hockey is so different.
I'm very familiar. Yep.
So it's a whole nother level of play.
Yeah.
So for them to step up, they were within one goal of them through 5%.
Yep.
And then at the very last minute and a half, they had got a breakaway deep goal.
Ah,
They just couldn't get it back.
Yeah.
But it's
Nice.
their level.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be one of the best. Really competitive team, so it was nice to see that they.
At that level.
Level.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was awesome.
That is great.
So, I mean, yeah, so it'll be, yeah, so it was, yeah, it was good. It was fun. And those, well, and I need that food.
Really?
They had like cowbell.
Oh, God. Why is everything so far?
That was so loud in there. The girls were like, and everybody just quiet down, like, it was just, it was almost obnoxious.
Yeah.
Because you had the parents who were up top. And then
Everything seems very far.
the
This-
players. down the
I
bench,
feel like, yeah,
in their sticks.
I can't do this. Can I sit over here?
Yep.
your name's right there.
Who's this?
Oh, it was Mara.
Don.
Mara.
I can't, it just feels like people are behind me.
Go ahead.
Everything's too.
So yeah, so it was really cool. Thank you for asking.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Canadians are tough.
They were,
Well,
man.
they live it. I mean,
They do. It's eat, sleep, breathe. Like that's
Yep. most of those kids have skates on by the age of 4,
exactly.
and they skate at least 6 months out of the year.
Yeah.
So like their 18-year-olds are like a whole nother level. Yeah, all the way up, they're another level above where we.
Yeah, absolutely. So to see them step up.
Yep.
Yeah. That alone.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was really good.
Which club is she with?
She was back at the Spartans.
Spartans.
Spartans. Spartans.
I guess the Spartans didn't really throw their children off cliffs. I always thought it was a weird like mascot name because they wwere pretty awful people.
Yeah.
I'd like promote this,
Can't have people. Like,
pay honor to these horrible people.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite as bad
To
as
be
that.
closer, Rick.
Yeah. And he just wanted to get closer to the action here. He just
I
right front and center.
need to be looking out.
We have this vacancy.
Used to
next
have
to
the
it.
opposite.
This is mafia.
Feels like a
What did you
You gotta
do?
head back to the wall.
gap.
What happened in that meeting in there?
Back to the
All
wall.
right. Okay.
There's so many budget
We need at least one more
on the side. It's weird to be for that.
How are you tonight?
Oh, yeah, right.
Good, thanks.
We're banished now at the other end.
Starving, but can't eat yet. Oh.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much. All right. It is 6:03 PM and we will call the meeting of the Sanborn Regional School Board to order. Tonight we have the Pledge of Allegiance being done by some middle school, high school students. If they would like to come up to the podium and introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Nicole Cartier, principal of the middle and high school, and I have the high school youth in action group with me this evening who are going to lead the pledge and then share with you some information.
All right. So if everyone would stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. My name is Lynn Anderson. I am the Student Assistance Program Counselor for middle and high school and one of the advisors of the High School Youth in Action. Our middle school also has a Youth in Action group, which is in its second year. And both groups have about 25 fairly active members, and both our middle school group, for being only in their second year, is pretty exciting. That at the beginning of the year, they had about 10% of the middle school population involved in Youth in Action. So that was really cool. And our high school group has grown significantly this year as well. And so I am going to invite Sophie up to tell you a couple of things about our group. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Sophie Harrington. I'm a junior. This is my second year in Youth in Action. Youth in Action is helpful to our school and community by bringing awareness to topics that can be difficult for teens. We share information and resources about mental health, substance misuse, and healthy relationships. One of the things that we do is host a table in the cafeteria during lunches to interact with other students. One example students like to participate in, like trivias, dress-up days, and a chance to talk with a guest speaker. It is a good way to make difficult topics a little easier to talk about. You can tell students enjoy coming by the table to each day to find out what the activity is for the day. We try to help others in a fun way. High school can be challenging, and Youth in Action is a way for us as students to make a positive impact on others, with the hope we're making high school just a little bit easier for anyone experiencing these challenges. To gain a better understanding of some of the things that students have been working on, we'd like to invite you to our prevention showcase next Wednesday. Middle school and high school students will be presenting on a variety of prevention projects that have been involved over the last 2 years. Thank you for letting us share a little bit about Youth in Action.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. And it was great to learn a little bit more about what you're doing. Feel free to go home now. You don't have to stay.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye, Maura.
Yeah, wait, Moore's leaving?
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
She is.
She really is.
All right. So we will move on to agenda item 3, action on the minutes. There is a request to amend the minutes from December 3rd, 2025. Number 2 on the last paragraph was noted. Someone would like to, wait, who was it that caught that? I can't remember. Somebody caught.
I don't know what was there.
Yeah, what was the amendment?
Called Chair Nault instead of Chair Dutton, I say Chair Nault after.
Yeah, so in
Oh.
number 2, at the very last paragraph, very last sentence, Chair Nault thanked him for his service.
Oh,
So. Somebody caught that. So if someone would like to make a motion to amend the minutes to make that change.
I'll make a motion to amend as stated.
Second.
I don't know, Phyllis, you can figure out who won that one. All right, any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Okay. Do I have any action for the minutes of December 17th?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, is there any discussion? All right, all in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. Okay, I will start signing manifest documents and send those around. Resignations. I have a letter that I will quickly read. Recognize. We had a board member step down. We received the letter on January 13th, 2026. Dear Sanborn community, I am writing to formally submit my resignation from the Sanborn Regional School Board effective. This was not an easy decision to make. I have been dealing with that. To my supporters, fellow school board members, and staff, thank you for your support over the last 5 years on the school board and also serving on the budget. It has been an honor to serve this. I will continue to support. Oh, sorry.
You,
The speaker right next to you is sounding like Brendan. Or a wind tunnel.
Yes. I was wondering what that was.
Drowning you out, Dawn.
Okay.
Yeah. And it got louder as you started.
Getting louder.
Uh-oh. Oh, good.
I think it's mine. Watch, right? Maybe not. You look at that.
Yeah, try this one here.
Oh, maybe.
Just shut that one off.
Okay. So should I reread the letter? Perfect. That's okay.
Yeah.
No, thank you for catching that. All right. Can you hear me now? Is that okay? All right. Fantastic. So this was received on January 13th, 2026. Dear Sanborn community, I am writing to formally submit my resignation from the Sanborn Regional School Board effective immediately. This was not an easy decision to make. I have been dealing with a medical issue that I needed to make a priority. To my supporters, fellow school board members, and staff, thank you for your support over the last several years, including 5 years on the school board and also serving on the budget committee. It has been an honor to serve this community. I will continue to support our community in a different role. Sincerely, Maura Bashaw. I just want to take a minute and say thank you. I know Maura just left, but she really stepped up, and even though she was dealing with a lot of medical stuff, she still showed up every time. So very much appreciate that. All right. Where did I? Yeah, perfect. You want to do your resignation first?
Yeah. Okay. I'll do it during the report.
Okay, thanks.
Nominations, there are no nominations right now. Excuse me. We have one resignation. Angela Bladis has resigned as a district level occupational therapist. So we have that resignation. And that's the end of that. Superintendent's report. We do have a couple items, but I first wanted to recognize Sheila Pierce, who was a member of the board for a number of years. And we got word that she passed away last week. Anybody who's walked around the high school enough knows that down the hall from here, there's a photograph on the wall of Sheila, I think, during a board meeting, smiling as she always did. She was on the board that brought me on board back in the day and was one of the nicest people you'd ever want to meet. So I wanted to recognize that. And I would think it would be appropriate to do a moment of silence in memory of Mrs. Pierce. Thank you. On a more business-like note, the budget process is moving right along. We have a couple of steps left in the yearly process, getting ready for the vote on March 10th. A couple of events upcoming. We'll talk about those at the end of the meeting. But we do have the completion of the public hearing on the budget process tomorrow night, 7 o'clock in the auditorium. There's a meeting in here, so we're going to move that into the auditorium. They'll be discussing the warrant articles that the board presumably will be approving later on this evening. And then they also have a meeting afterwards, two separate processes, one to discuss the warrants and one to vote their recommendations on the warrants as presented at that time, to do that process tomorrow night. We want to recognize that Officer Oljay has left the Memorial School to take a job in another town. Officer Oljay was a number of years the SRO, and of course he who came along for the ride with Officer Oljay at Memorial was his dog Luca. Unfortunately, we couldn't keep the dog, so that is there. But I wanted to let folks know that we do have a plan in place. We met with the Newton Police Department last week, and they will have a police presence as agreed to for a number of years now at the Memorial School on a daily basis, really on that campus, because there are two other schools on that campus that he also has some level of responsibility for. So there will be somebody there on a continual basis. The LED lighting project has begun in earnest. They are almost complete and maybe are complete, I think, at Memorial School already. And tomorrow or soon, they will be starting on the Seacoast and SLC building. Back, the Sockwell building will get started there as well. I believe Dan has set up some trial rooms. We're testing some light levels and warmth and temperature of lights and switches and all kinds of stuff in those rooms. And we want to give the teachers the ability to have the lighting in the room to be at the optimal level for what they believe is for the education of the kids that happen in that room. So they're tinkering with the lights a little bit. We talked about setting up 3 classrooms in 3 different ways and letting the teachers pick what they wanted for their classroom. And Dan's not telling me I'm wrong from across the room. So we're still on that project. So good. Nailed it. I like that. So that's underway, which is good news. And I think they're moving off to the SLC and Sockwell building in the next couple of days, which is great. And yes, I am watching the weather for Monday. Stay tuned.
All
Just
right.
one quick question.
Sure.
You talked about the budget a little bit.
Yep.
We have 8.5 budget process update. Is that we're going to cover some of the slides that are going to be shared in deliberative session tonight?
Let me look. 8.5.
It's budget process.
Yeah, it was basically the same thing I just talked about. So that was kind of repetitive, but we can bring that up definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. I know what you mean by that. Yeah.
All right. We will move on to subcommittee reports. Do I have any subcommittee reports tonight?
Student council.
Oh, I'm sorry, Summer.
It's okay.
I had moved my screen up too high. I wasn't looking at my paper, looking at my screen, and I apologize.
A scrolling error.
It was clearly a scrolling. I scrolled to committee reports. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I didn't mind. So student council wise, we're just finishing up planning Winter Carnival. We planned Spirit Days, pep rally. The overall theme is cities around the world. So the seniors are going to be New York, juniors are Boston, sophomores are Paris, and the freshmen are going to be Rio. We're planning on attending the Southern District Conference. It will be a beach cleanup at Hampton Beach and also the Southern District elections. And we will have representation at the National Student Council Conference called LEAD over February break. Class council wise, class of 26 has their winter formal February 18th. It's Broadway themed, kind of running with New York and that sort of thing. And we'll also have a pancake waffle after school fundraiser February 17th. So please stop by if you want food. And as you'll hear later, we're working on currently planning the senior trip. Other news, NHS is planning a movie night. It's February 6th at 5:30. It's marketed towards elementary students. We're be going showing Tangled. There's gonna be popcorn, snacks, that sort of thing in the auditorium. Sustainability Club, foresters are coming to the school tomorrow to teach us and prepare us for Envirothon. We're also having wildlife from UNH Extension people come teach and aquatics, that sort of thing. This Friday, there's a basketball game, girls home game. The boys are away at Knightwood. And there's a bowling meet this Saturday. And you guys already heard about the prevention showcase, January 28th? lots of students are going. You should stop by. Childcare is provided.
Fantastic. Thank you, Summer.
And the February 17th, what time was that? The pancake fundraiser?
After school, just immediately.
Okay.
2:30.
Thank you.
All right. Now do I have subcommittee reports? Now I'm on the right agenda item.
I have a couple, so I'll start with the first one, which is ISA. We met this evening with Christine DeRosa and Dr. Dawson to talk about a new curriculum for science for the middle school. It is called Open SciEd.
Yeah, Open SciEd.
And two teachers, a 7th and 8th grade middle school teachers, have been piloting it. They have really good success. There's a lot of labs, there's a lot of kits, there's a lot of instruction, really well done, really a great anchor and scaffolding for our teachers. And we made a motion to bring it to the larger board. So hopefully we'll see that on one. And to give the full board an opportunity to look at some of the curriculum and then also hear from the science teachers directly. And then my second, I'm the chair of two committees, aren't I lucky, was public relations. And we were happy to have the Sanborn Community Organization, SCO, join us to give us an update on the meeting that was held here on January 8th. And look at some of the things that we spoke about and talk about their marketing plan and how they're going to move forward to continue working with the district on increasing communication, looking at some of the things that are going well, and then some of the things we'd like to work on as a district. I don't know if Megan or Sam, if you'd like to come up and just kind of give us a quick highlight.
Thank you for having us. Yeah, we were happy tonight to meet with the PR committee and able to share the recap from our first meeting, and came to the PR committee tonight, presented our storytelling and marketing proposal, and excited to get the green light to go ahead. This idea came directly from the feedback we got on January 8th from the community members, staff, and parents that joined us. And we're really excited because we keep hearing is like the student council, the student update we just got, the prevention convention. There's so many great things happening, and we really want to help hopefully tie things together, fill the gap for our community, especially our community members. When there's no published newspaper, when we were growing up, that's how you got all these updates. So we're really excited and hopeful to change the narrative so that there's a lot more online chatter about all the positive things that are happening at Sanborn. So in that vein, another thing that came out of that meeting was, whether you like it or don't like it, Facebook is how a lot of people heard about our meeting on January 8th. So we proposed to start a Sanborn Community Organization Facebook page with the content initially coming from attendees. We're going to do a survey to all the attendees because they had a lot of ideas. We also would love to work with building principals going forward and help make sure we're getting student and staff updates to be a bank of stories and highlights that we can present. We are very happy to be working collaboratively with the school board as a community as we come together. And so we set really clear guardrails and oversight as well as we move forward. This is to be information. This is facts, not opinions. No commenting. We really are trying to make sure we are getting a message out and not have it turn into anything other than that. Very solution focused, very positive. So thank you.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're really excited to get started. We have a meeting tomorrow night of the Sanborn Community Organization. We're going to talk about the budget, deliberative session, make sure people understand process, and can talk about that as well. And then we'll get started on the marketing proposal, launching this proposal that we had. So
The no commenting thing was for the Facebook page, right? You're going to make it so comments.
yes. Yeah. Commenting off.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Good.
And then just moving forward, they'll be giving information to the PR committee, and we will be reporting out on updates. So there's not always they don't always have to come and do a standing agenda. We as a board will kind of report out on the things that we're doing collaboratively. And I really just want to thank you both for spearheading this and really taking action.
Thank you so much.
I do want to just make one comment. Yes, thank you for doing this. It's much needed. I just wanted to clarify for everybody. You said the word green light, like you got the green light in the thing. I just want to make it clear for everybody that the board is not This PR subcommittee is not empowered at all to approve or deny a community organization. They're free to do whatever they want, say whatever they want, that whole thing. What we did tonight was really establish guidelines for how we're going to work together collaboratively and positively.
Yep.
So
We're still figuring it all out. So
Yep.
thank you.
Thank you for clarifying that, Mike.
yes.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Those are my two committees.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you.
I will do a readout from the Facilities and Finance Subcommittee. We met this evening, talked about our normal flow of events, trust fund balances, where those sit, how the district is doing financially, and then moving on to facilities, some big items in the facilities. Bob, you stole my positive thunder. Lighting. So I'm going to have to go a different positive route. We're going on the positive theme. So I mentioned this in the subcommittee, and I would like to mention this to the larger group that's here, as well as the public listening. So Dan, would you stand up in the back over there for me, please? I feel like
come on,
A little
come on out of your cave. Come on out.
He's like, what is he gonna do?
So as we go about this budget season, and as we go about all the vast amount of changes that we are going through, it's very easy to get lost in the details, get lost in the minutia, and get focused on things rather than people. And I just want to say that this man and his team, who is not here, but he represents tonight, do a nothing short than a fantastic job maintaining our facilities. I had an outstanding conversation today with our BA, and we went over some rough numbers. And I had to grapple with this. I've been on the board for 3 years now, and we maintain multiple facilities in multiple communities, and we do it in a fashion that looks like it's almost new. And sometimes it's easy to forget it's not new, except when you're behind the scenes paying the bills and doing the work. And out of our entire budget, this man and his team do this for 3% of our budget. That's what we maintain, our vast facilities in multiple towns, large facilities, top notch. People come here from all over, from the seacoast, and they're like, wow, look at the track, look at the fields, look at the building, look at the parking lots. It never ends. People from districts that have way more money than we do. And it's because of your commitment and your team's commitment. And I just want to honor you in public and say thank you, Dan. We appreciate you. That's all I have, Don.
Great. Thank you.
Yes.
Pretty significant, just 3% of our.
Yeah, that's
That's nothing. It's incredible.
yeah. All right, we will move to first public comment. Anyone that would like to speak can come up to the podium. Just state your name, the town you are from, and you have 5 minutes.
Sam Olson of Kingston. I have kids in the district. I wanted to speak tonight after listening to the budget committee's discussions and voting outcomes. And after hearing that administration is already planning for a reduced operating budget as we head into the February 4th deliberative session. I want to start by acknowledging something important. People are not wrong to be frustrated about their tax bills. Many households, particularly residential homeowners, have seen double-digit increases in the past few years, even in cases where property values have remained relatively flat. That hurts. But frustration alone shouldn't drive decisions. Facts should. When you look at the actual tax rate data in Kingston and Newton, it's clear that the school budget is not asking for something excessive. Over the last decade, total tax rates were remarkably stable, dipped unusually low in 2020 and 21, and have since been returning toward historical levels. What residents are feeling now is not a sudden surge in school spending. It's a rebound from an artificially low baseline, combined with a revaluation and shifts in the tax base. In Kingston specifically, total property tax exemptions in 2024 exceeded $9 million. Of that, more than $5 million was newly removed from the tax base in a single year, primarily due to elderly exemptions that increased automatically after revaluation. At the same time, residential property values increased far faster than commercial and industrial values. Since the last reevaluation, residential land and buildings rose by roughly 65 to 70%, while commercial and industrial properties increased closer to 40 to 50. That imbalance shifted a larger share of the tax burden onto homeowners, and it happened regardless of the school budget. Despite all of that, the primary solution being discussed and advanced is cutting teachers and administrators. That's where I struggle. If the data shows that tax increases are being driven by reevaluation, exemptions, and tax-based shifts, and not by sudden growth in school spending, then cutting educators is not a solution to the tax problem. It's a decision about priorities. And we need to be honest about what that decision means inside classrooms. When teaching positions are eliminated, class sizes don't just increase slightly, they become stretched. Teachers are responsible for more students with a wider range of learning needs and behavioral challenges, all in the same classroom and with the same amount of time. Support becomes thinner, intervention is delayed, and enrichment disappears. That environment doesn't improve outcomes, it doesn't raise test scores, and it doesn't align with the expectations we place on our schools, especially now that test scores are being placed directly on the ballot and used as a measure of effectiveness. When learning conditions are weakened, performance doesn't improve, it stalls. Families notice, and when enrollment decline is a state and national trend, local decisions still matter. If we make our schools less supportive, less responsive, and less competitive, we create a cycle of fewer families choosing to stay, less funding, and more cuts. The school district is not the enemy here. The proposed operating budget reflects modest growth, is significantly below the default budget, and continues a pattern of fiscal responsibility we've seen for years. It is an attempt to meet real obligations while protecting the learning environments of our students depend on. As we head into the deliberative session on February 4th, I hope voters pause before equating school cuts with tax relief. Cutting teachers will not fix the structural drivers of rising residential tax bills, but it will permanently change classrooms. Supporting the originally proposed operating budget isn't about excess. It's about realism, responsibility, and making sure our schools can actually deliver on the outcomes we demand of them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, if there's no one else, we will move to the high school senior trip proposal.
I need the screen or no?
Am I allowed to go?
You can go wherever you want.
Well, I was gonna say, is the projector
Yeah, do
available?
you guys need it? Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I think there's one. Yep. I did not just yet.
I know. I love it. Thank you. Yeah, be careful of those cords.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you. Okay, perfect. Back this way. All right. My name is Eric Beebe. For those of you who don't know me, I am one of the co-advisors of the class of 2026.
Hi, I'm Abigail Stickney. I'm also one of the co-advisors for the class of 2026.
Hi, I'm Kaden Stevens and I'm the senior class president.
Hi, I'm Sarah Donovan and I'm the senior class vice president.
Hi, I'm Lexi Guy and I'm the senior class treasurer.
Hi, I'm Megan Flaherty and I'm the secretary.
Hi, I'm Fiona Bromwitz. I'm one of our representatives.
My name's Summer Campbell and I'm the school board representative.
Hi, I'm Lorelai and I'm also one of the senior class reps.
Hi, I'm Jada Simpson and I'm class historian.
And we're all here to propose our senior class trip that we have been working on building for your approval. The senior class trip we are proposing is planned for June 8th, day and night, and then returning June 9th to the school. To and from Acadia and Bar Harbor, Maine. This was voted on by the students after the council prepared a number of different options for them. And this is the final result. So we have an itinerary that I believe was just handed out to all of you. This is another view of it here. It will start bright or dark and early, 5 o'clock in the morning on June 8th. Or bag check. This is to ensure the safety of everybody on the trip. Pretty standard procedure, checking bags before we put them on the bus. We will have a hard cutoff at 5:30 in the morning to ensure timeliness. Unfortunately, we will not be able to refund trips for those who arrive after 5:30, but this will be made. This will be warned well in advance, so students will know that they need to arrive between 5 and 5:30 to make sure that we stay on time for the 6 o'clock departure. We'll be arriving in Acadia, Maine, late morning, moving on to lunch groups led by chaperones, to a walk around Bar Harbor, again in different groups led by chaperones, which we will have 10 chaperones total, a combination of an administrator and teachers. 2 o'clock check-in to settle into the hotel and enjoy amenities. We'll have a slide on the location shortly, and then get ready for a group dinner. So the seniors will be able to enjoy a group dinner with their class as kind of a send-off, followed by we will be taking a shuttle up to the peak of Cadillac Mountain for the sunset that evening for their senior sunset. The senior class started the year with a senior sunrise, so we figured that would be a nice poetic way to round out the year, which will give us time to return to the hotel. Sunset that day, I think, is estimated for 8:12, so we'll be back at the hotel around 8:30. 9:45 curfew, so they'll have another chance to enjoy the pool and whatnot. Lights out at 10, and then we will proceed to enforce lights out at 10:15 onward. We will be hiring a security guard through the hotel. We've already gotten a quote on that and arranged that. So the security guard will be patrolling throughout the night in the block that we rent in the hotel to make sure that kids are following the rules. Next slide, please. Next morning, 7:30 approximate wake up, bag checks. We will be hitting some additional activities before we hit the road home. Again, an opportunity for the kids to check out different activities that we have researched and put on here for approval. Lunch in groups again, dinner and dessert at approved locations. And then our estimated departure time, aim departure time is 7, which should get us back here in time for about midnight. And then the kids will be able to arrive back here the next morning for graduation practice and all of that good stuff. The location that we've been in touch with is the Harborside Hotel. They are going to be able to provide us rooms and meals for about $152 per student. That is, we are going to have to add about $35 to that for the total ticket price to help cover transportation, but fairly reasonable pricing. We'll be rooming 4 students per room, and we will be surveying the students for groups of friends that they feel comfortable with rooming for the night, but there will be 4 students per room. Some information on the bus companies. So we have been in touch with 2 bus companies. We've gotten quotes, and we will be locking those in shortly. We just heard back from the one that Dr. Dawson recommended. And so that has been built into the budget to ensure that 187 ticket price essentially for the trip, that we're confident we can maintain. It won't go up from there. lunch locations that the chaperones will be leading to are here. Just a few local places, some breakfast cafes, sandwich shops, things like that. There are options for students with dietary restrictions like gluten-free or vegetarian at Side Street Cafe. Cadillac Mountain, a nice little shot there of it. We do plan on taking a shuttle up to the top to avoid any sort of hiking mishaps that could derail that little excursion. Now, that being said, there are some students who are interested in hiking, so we did have a hiking option for day 2 on the return, as well as the beach and a mini golf course are some of the options that we will have available. A couple of places for dinner and dessert the second night. That's more a la carte. And there you have it. Am I forgetting anything to cover? Okay. Any questions from you fine folks?
(9:45) curfew. That works out.
So I have a question because I didn't
on the doors.
notice originally when I read the proposal, I didn't notice the date. So on the calendar that's on the district website,
Okay.
it looks like the last day for all students, which is usually a week after graduation, is the 12th. So wouldn't that put graduation on the 5th? And that would put this trip after graduation.
Okay. So,
So
I noticed that too. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as of right now, we haven't heard an official date yet.
Right.
We've
Typically the last day, like graduation is usually the week before. So if the last day of school
Yeah.
for all students is the 12th, you would.
So
typically-
we just based it off of what we can see for our calendar at the school, like inside the school, and it looked like it was on the 12th. So we just based it around that. We could always move it a week earlier. We haven't had any like official like payment sent or anything like that. I'm in the works with the one of the women at the hotel currently. So I haven't officially set a date with her.
Okay.
So if we have to move it, we can. And she said, I offered her those 2 options and she said either of those would be fine. So,
okay. All right. And will that change the date? Would that potentially impact the pricing?
no. So if anything, it could potentially make it a little cheaper because it'd be a little earlier in the season than later.
Okay.
So,
I was curious when we were actually voting on graduation, if we had gotten that.
I don't think it's usually till April. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Assuming you don't have too many crazy snow days.
Well, I'm worried about them booking.
Yeah, I'm nervous about approving the date.
Mm.
Can we
Yeah.
approve just the
Pending-
trip pending
pending
and
the
date pending
finalization,
finalization of the calendar?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Can
Yeah.
we-
So could we potentially put it approving it basically for the Monday, Tuesday before graduation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be safe.
Okay.
So.
Sound good?
Yeah. Do you have any questions?
There was that question.
Oh.
I just have one simple one. Do you have any sort of projection or a sense as to how many students will participate in this?
Yes, by the last survey that we conducted, approximately 63 students plan on going on the trip. We plan on presenting this finalized itinerary and plan to them in a class meeting coming up, I believe, next week. And after that, then they'll be tasked with finding their groups that they want to try and room with, and then we'll have a more definitive head count. But 63 is about the operating number we've been going off of.
Awesome. Well, thank you. It looks like a fantastic trip. Acadia is wonderful, and the Chocolate Emporium is the best ice cream place in the East Coast. So.
I've never been, so I look forward to learning.
It is.
I've got one thing on this.
Yeah.
Acadia, for anybody who doesn't know, is one of the only places anywhere near here where you can get a southern facing view with no light pollution because of the way that Maine goes out into the ocean. So I would be remiss if I told you, if I didn't tell you to take a moment when you go outside and look at the Milky Way, because you're going to be in the perfect spot. There will be no moon before bedtime, and you won't see it like that anywhere in New England ever. Take a photo, take a long exposure photo.
Thank you.
Yep.
I can make a motion to approve the class of 2026 senior trip to Bar Harbor and Acadia pending on confirmation of graduation dates,
For Monday or Tuesday.
Monday or Tuesday of that week.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion?
My family's from Bar Harbor. It is beautiful. I'm sure you'll have a wonderful time. Had family used to own one of the cafes, but they recently just sold it, or I would have tried to get a discount for you.
Appreciate the thought.
All right. And I just want to say thank you so much for all of the time and hard work that you all put in to make this happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, if there's no further discussion, all in favor? Unanimous. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for being here.
Dancing.
Oh yeah, lights.
Dancing.
Come on, it's kind of nice.
I know.
I'm gonna like mellow. I'm not upset with the mellow vibe here. I can still read. All right. So we will move on to 8.2 donations. So we have Miss Trimper here to do our first one for Sanborn Submariners.
Hi, good evening. My name is Allison Trimper. I am the middle school assistant principal and also have the honor to be this year heading the Submariners, which if you don't know anything about us, we are a group of high school students, which is amazing that I get to hang out with both middle school kids and high school kids. They are all scuba certified. They have hand built a submarine that goes down into the water, and it's a wet submarine so that it fills with water, and they have to scuba down to it, and they race inside of it by laying on their stomachs and pedaling behind them, which sounds terrible, but they love it. I don't understand any of it. We actually have some submariners here, when some just left, but it's an amazing group. It's a STEM focused group. They have designed the sub, they build the sub, they test the sub. Last year we went to a naval base in Maryland and raced the sub against mostly colleges. There's only 3 other, well, we're one of 3 high schools in the country that have a submarine club, which is amazing. So I will do anything that I need to do to keep this group going, which is awesome. Before I took it over, Mr. Enright had applied for a grant through Fidelity Charitable Donation and received a grant for $5,000, which we will use to certify our new members. So we have about half of our group is certified and knows all about the sub and scuba diving. Half of our group is brand new, so we will get them certified. We will further certify our current divers if they want to go to their next level diving. We are going to do some community outreach and a pair at the Sea Rovers convention in Boston this year. Oh, I didn't tell you that. We'll talk later.
It's fine. Just keep.
Again, it's a group of people who, are into the ocean and diving and preserving all of that. And a lot of the people who will be at the Sea Rover convention will also be at the submarine races. So it's a very small community. So we need some stickers and pamphlets and some, things, signage for the students to be able to talk to the people. So if we could accept this grant, that would be amazing so that we can get some of that started and get our kids certified to that.
Thank you. All right. Are there any questions for Ms. Trimper?
Thanks for taking over.
Thanks. Big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you did a great job last trip. So
thanks. All right.
Make a motion to accept the $5,000 donation from Fidelity Charitable.
Second.
All right. Any discussion?
Yeah, just another thank you. There's so many kids that are either looking forward to that program, have great memories, or it's currently an enjoyment of their school experience here. So thanks for continuing that, because it takes people like you to step up and make that happen. So thank you.
I'm happy to. Thank you.
All right. If there's no further discussion, all in favor? Unanimous? Fantastic.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
The John and Laura Blutzer donation.
I think you have a note on that.
I have a note. Were you going to announce it?
Yeah, I can talk about what the purpose is. The John and Laura Blutzer are community members from Kingston, I believe, who annually, I'm told, donate $5,000, which is used to help out our kids in need. They buy, the elementary schools will use that money to buy hats and boots and coats and things for kids kind of quietly for them. So we very much appreciate that. And I believe one of our school counselors wrote a note that Chair Dutton has that comments on that a little bit, as well as a thank you to the Blutzer family. We'll be sending that along tomorrow.
Yes. So the entire team signed it, which is fantastic. They are all very excited about this. It says, "Dear John and Laura Blutzer, on behalf of the school counseling team, we want to extend our heartfelt thanks for your generous donation to support our students. Because of your generosity, we will be able to provide additional resources and opportunities that help students feel supported, encouraged, and ready to learn. Acts of kindness like yours remind students and all of us of what makes our Sanborn community special. With sincere appreciation," and then all of their names. Thank you very, very much. So do I have a motion to accept?
I make a motion to accept the $5,000 donation from Laura and John Blutzer.
Second.
Fantastic. Any discussion?
I would like to say thank you. I've been on the board for 5 years now, and they have donated every year. It's just an amazing thing that they do, and it's greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
You know, we've heard firsthand how this has supported kids in the district. So I thank them very much.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you so much. Okay. Voting locations. Bob.
Yes, voting for this particular spring, I know we're committed to have the vote here at the high school. And we had a meeting several months ago. Mr. Edelman was there, as well as A and Dan from security and facility standpoint, and a couple others with the town of Kingston to look at. And their request is, and I think it's an item for the board to discuss, as to whether or not elections should continue to be held at the schools on more of a ongoing basis, and it really should say 26, 27. Next year, we do have 3 elections coming up during the particular school year that we're running into. We'll have a primary election on September 8th, the general election on November 3rd, and then we'll also have an election in March. So we do have 3. They do align well with the school calendar that we're proposing. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but just seemed correct to have you guys have a discussion about that and potentially decide or not decide to have the elections on a permanent basis here in this facility, in the big gym.
Did you want to share the rest of your comments? The ones that you sent us, or no? They probably add value.
Sure, I can do that. Just ripping through to see what I already said. SAU 16 drives our school calendar for a large extent because they have SST, and then the area of schools that go to SST by state law, we can only vary from their calendar by about 10 days. So they do have a plan this year for them to take those days off, the same election days that we have for elections. So that's helpful. The attorneys assure us that it is allowable for us to have a school day with students in the building. The comment was made that over 90 schools in the state do that already. At the meeting that we had, I didn't verify that, but even if it's half of that, it's a significant number. So it is legal for us to have students here or have a PD day. We have scheduled parent-teacher conferences on 2 of those election days. The 2 days I suspect will be heavier here for voting. And then third would just be the proposal for us to do that, but that would really be up to you guys.
So I remember when
We need a motion first.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve Town of Kingston to utilize the Sanborn Regional High School for voting.
Second.
So one of the things we had brought up last time is that people are allowed to carry weapons when they come in for voting. And I am just not comfortable having kids in the school when people are allowed to come into the building with weapons. And I know we can't stop people from that. So I think if we are going to allow Kingston to use, I just don't feel comfortable having kids in, especially in this day and age.
Yep. That's a good point. And I think what we also discussed is that the building would be secured. The gate would be pulled across from where students enter. It would be locked. So they won't have access to here, right, to the classrooms. And we'd also have Kingston Police Department as well.
Am I allowed to ask a question? So when you block it off, what are you going to do with the classes that are usually?
That was my question in the past too.
Mhm.
All of those classrooms have to be displaced. So another reason that it's best right now to have students in the building.
All of what classrooms?
All of
There's like health.
there's a whole wing. It's special education. It's
Life skills.
life skills, culinary. Did I say health? Yeah, all the gym classes.
Gym, health.
They all have to be displaced and put somewhere else.
They're on the other side of the barrier.
It might also be the nurse's office.
Yeah, I'm confused.
No,
They're on the gym side.
They're on the
we
gym
gated
side.
off.
Gym side.
So
Okay.
they would not be accessible.
Okay.
So if I could, I think the motion on the floor is to allow voting here.
Yep.
We didn't say the motion on the floor is not to allow voting and students, it's to allow voting. And I think we could parse out allowing voting, and then how that plays out could be a second, right? That could be a discussion afterwards, how that plays out.
Yep. It would affect the calendar, obviously.
Exactly. Yep. So we could discuss whether it's with students in the building or without, and we change the calendar. But I think the motion is to allow voting in the building.
On the assumption that it's feasible that we not have students here during it. Like it's a possibility. It's not like I get Heather, my point, I guess, is that Heather's concern should be brought up as part of this motion if we can't reasonably make the kids not be here.
Right.
Right.
Which
But if I
Bob's
think we-
first point, he
if
said we
Bob's
could.
first point says we can,
Right.
then we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted that to be all.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So I'd be in favor of separating those two
Yep.
things, just voting on the one.
Yep. As would I.
Okay. So you're saying to approve it with not for 26, 27, you're saying open-ended? Because your motion didn't have specify, so I'm just trying to clarify.
I thought that was the ask.
That's what I'm just trying to clarify, because on the agenda it said 26, 27, but then there was a discussion about, is it, because he said you can.
Voting location's 26, and I thought, Bob, you said they were.
And then he said.
Kingston, in our conversation with Electra and the town clerk, was that they wanted it to continue because of the construction, the non-use of Swayze.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the ask from the town is that this be basically the permanent voting solution for the town of Kingston. So this does say 26, but that's not completely.
Right. That's why I just wanted to
Motion
clarify.
was in general, because from what I've heard and what I've read is that this is an ask from the town of Kingston every year moving forward.
Right.
Sure.
And that's why I brought up the concerns that I have.
Yeah.
Because we could accommodate maybe that's 3 days that we would have to make a decision on. It's not like it's just the one day in March.
Maybe I'm confused. I apologize.
Mhm.
The 3 days you've already made a comment on that we could accommodate them because of you could do PD days, PTC days, and SST usually takes those same days. Isn't that what your
Yes,
comment was?
the last several years,
Yeah.
what happens is in 26, 27, there'll be 3 days. In 27, 28, there'll only be one, because you don't have a presidential or a congressional governor election. And then the year after it's 3, then the year after it's 1. It alternates back and forth.
Yeah.
What Exeter, if you will, SAU 16 and SST have done over the last several years is they just take the same days every year, and they put PD days or whatever. And that is has to be mirrored, if you will, by the other schools that send SST, Epping and Raymond and I think it's the Hampton area, the Seacoast folks.
So would
So
we,
as long as they mirror our calendars line up, we can't vary across the entire group of us more than 10 days.
would we have staff here?
I
I would like to protect staff as much as our kids.
think that's my take is that's the secondary discussion as to whether or not what we would do with those days. We could do parent teacher conferences in a variety of locations that don't involve this building. I could see it,
I mean, we wouldn't need the
You know.
classrooms that were segregated, correct? That were sectioned off, we wouldn't need those classrooms. So if we did have staff here, they could be in other areas of the.
yeah, the teachers, we would have, I would say the PE staff, which is 4 if we include the cooking teacher and 1, the life skills teacher, they would need a new location to get them away from the voting. And really that one hallway doesn't connect directly to where the election's taking place, but the election workers use the kitchen and so forth to take care of breaks and so forth. So we would presumably move those people to say the cafeteria or life skills teacher. You'd probably want it in some kind of more private space, but we do have space for those things. They could be in here, for instance. So we could practically move the teachers on a parent teacher conference day and have their conferences occur elsewhere. Or if we ever went to a model of, which might be parent friendly, of which I know some districts are doing, of online parent teacher conferences where they're zooming into their teachers during the day, so you don't have to leave work.
They're currently doing that now,
Oh,
but
they
the
do.
teachers are just housed at the, like, so all of the last conferences I've done at a Google option. So I've been able just to log in. I just want to make sure, I know that maybe I'm just overly cautious, but doing the work that I do and seeing the things that I do, I just want to make sure that we're protecting the people that are in this building. And polling places can get violent at times. Not saying that we have that history here, but I think we have to look at all scenarios.
Yeah, so for the voting, back to the motion, I think we've talked about this in the past, and I think it came up. It's a taxpayer-funded school, and to allow our community to utilize this facility to vote either 1 day a year or 3 days a year, it produces predictability for an aging population. When we change where we're voting every year, I saw what Mrs. Bakey went through, putting out signs on highways and trying to tell people, oh, it's no longer here, it's going to be over there. And people who have been voting at the exact same spot year after year after year, it's a little disconcerting when they need rides, they show up to the wrong place, they can't vote. So I think producing predictability at a taxpayer-funded school 1 or 3 days a year is not only something that I can get on board with. I think it's something that that we owe our community. So that's my stance.
I completely agree with that.
Okay. All right, so the motion is to approve it for the foreseeable future.
And then are we having a different conversation on how we're going to manage it?
You can make a motion to do that, yes. Okay, so all in favor of approving the town of Kingston to hold their elections in the high school gymnasium? All in favor? All right, unanimous.
So I would like to make a motion to not have students or faculty in the building while voting happens. And having alternative arrangements.
I'll second it for conversation.
So I definitely.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry. So it looks like laws change. Looks like right now we're covered on the student part because it looks like Exeter takes those days off. So we have to take those days off for student. If the law changes, that will no longer be the case. And that's a discussion that a future board may need to have if we don't kind of set something up now. Future board could obviously have a conversation and make a different vote. But we could, at this point, say that we would like to follow, what the law says right now and continue that, even if it changes, to not have students in the building on election days. I don't know if you want to parse it out into two separate motions, if you want to keep it as one. I don't know how staff feel, so that's where I'm struggling, because I'd really, personally, I'd like to know how staff feel about being in the building. But that's just where I stand.
I can change my motion. I amend my motion to not have students in the building during voting.
You have an amended second?
Oh, sorry, second. Yeah.
Thank you.
I just don't know how I can vote.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. I just don't think I can vote in the affirmative because I can't guarantee that.
Yeah.
But what I can guarantee is that any board, besides us, can change their mind and vote a
Right,
different way,
absolutely.
right? So I think first and foremost, the safety of the students and staff is paramount. I don't want to, you can jump in, Bob, but the conversation that I had with the select person that was there and the town clerk is that they are open to collaborate. I think if there's other ways for us to keep the building safe, maybe an additional gate to not segregate off certain areas. I don't know. I'd have to talk to Dan or something, but I think they're willing to collaborate and work with us.
I'm not, and I don't think the motion was to not have voting here. It was to have voting and just not have students in the building. And
You can't guarantee that.
How do I vote?
So if a
yes to
student walks
guarantee?
in to
well, to not
get a
hold
book,
classes.
you know what I mean?
To not hold classes. Maybe that's what it should be, to not hold classes on an election day. I don't know. So here's the other issue.
I don't know this.
So
Here's
here's
my
the-
perspective.
Can I just give you one more thing really quickly? The other thing is, it is already extremely difficult to come here and park when the high school students are here. There is not a lot of parking, so I don't know how easy it's going to be to accommodate voters on election day with parking spots, because there's not a lot of extra.
Yeah, so essentially they couldn't be here anyway. Or
So
they-
that's, yeah.
And I agree that a future board can change or do whatever they want. I just, as a current board member now, this is something that I feel strongly about. And if other people disagree, that's the great thing about having multiple people on the board. But I think I agree. There's safety, but then there's also logistics. Half the parts of the building can't be used. Parking, like you're not going to be able to have a class day and voting at the same time. Right.
Can I just throw one thought in here?
Mhm.
Excuse me. You'll see on the calendar part that the 9th, the one day where we would potentially have students here based on what I'm proposing for the calendar, is listed as a DOE day. And that the idea there is to have a delayed opening on the election day. That will be presumably usually is the lightest of the 3 voting days. And by delaying the opening of the high school until 9:20, and I did confirm this with the town clerk in Kingston, it's the people tend to vote before work and after work. So the lightest portion of the voting day would line up better. This is an idea I stole from Sauhegan. I don't think they used to do this. And it's the same idea. So you would be able to block off a bigger portion of the parking lot until our kids arrived later on in the day. So we can do whatever we want, but that's just one thought of one way we could handle that particular concern about parking. And at the beginning of the year is the lightest number of drivers because our sophomores and some of our juniors haven't gotten their licenses yet. So the parking situation just gets worse over the course of the year. Just FYI.
Michael, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, I appreciate Heather's sentiment. My issue is that it seems overly prescriptive. It seems like there's a lot of ways we can accomplish the goal of student safety during voting. And I don't know that we need necessarily a motion to do it. It doesn't seem like it's the kind of thing that should be motioned, but rather just an action item like many other things that we do, that given something we voted on, we want to minimize the amount of time that the students are in school. If we can do that 100%, great. But just being too locked into something that's that prescriptive or granular seems like it limits options.
Yeah.
To Rick's point, like what if we really get in a bind and we could, instead of having the students not here, we add security. I mean, I know that I appreciate the point about, you know, voting. There can be all kinds of things that happen during voting but I mean, I don't know that there's any good statistical evidence. I haven't seen any that there's more firearms at a voting booth than there is at Market Basket or Walmart every day. And our kids in our communities are there too. So I don't know if it's a little too far for me, too prescriptive. When we do have some measures that we can take. So I don't know that I could be really, I don't know that I'm on board with that as a motion.
I have a question because I don't understand. Is the school a gun-free zone?
But
a polling location is not.
As of right now.
Well, that's a square peg in a round hole. The school's a school. It doesn't change.
It does because we're allowing it to be a voting location at that time. So,
Dan, I know, I can see Dan shaking his head over there, and I
That's
haven't
my-
tried to thread that needle.
Rob is.
New Hampshire, there's
Right.
The policy, not a law.
any school in New Hampshire at any time. And we do have parents that come here armed all the time. You just don't know it. Under federal law, you can't carry a gun within a school zone, but the state will supersede the federal law on that. And that's the problem that you have. So yes, you can
That's
carry
disturbing.
Yeah. You don't need a permit.
anytime.
There's no permit required. in New
That
Hampshire.
says to me that shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, I mean,
Not an issue during a regular school day, during the regular school year. It shouldn't be an issue on voting.
that's the thing. If a parent or anybody else could walk into the school with one,
Yes. And walk into this part of the building with the students in
Right.
class, right?
I mean, the doors are locked. Like, so you
Yeah.
can't just walk in, but the point is made that, I mean, yeah, there's no permitted carry, there's open carry and concealed carry all over New Hampshire all the time.
Yep.
I don't know that a voting,
In voting, we're going to take measures to segregate or cut off that part of the school. There's going to be,
Right.
Kingston Police will be here.
Yeah.
So additional steps are being taken.
I guess the point I'm making too is that if we start saying no students here during that because of the potential presence of firearms, we frisking people at basketball games, football games, track meets, like it starts, we go down a road that I think is unmanageable and untenable.
I don't want to speak for Heather, but voting is a little different than a high school football game. But
I mean, it can be,
Yep.
but people get pissed about football too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Suppose.
The emotions at sports.
The emotion, I mean, I don't know.
Ever been to an Eagles
Been to
game?
a Sanborn football game.
Been to a Patriots.
And we should be clear, we shouldn't be making light of that kind of.
No.
And we're not, but I think it's philosophically relevant that the idea of people bringing guns to the school while class is in session can be bothersome. But I think it might be, if we look at the larger context, it might be already happening under our nose, and it's not something that we can reasonably control. Or we can reasonably control with certain measures, but I don't know if I want to commit to saying no students in the building at all.
Yeah, I think the goal in my mind is plan to not have students.
Yes.
And that sounds, from what I heard from Bob, that sounds realistic.
And there is a policy that prohibits weapons on the property.
I was gonna say, I thought we had a policy.
So that, which gives you as the administrator, and I focus on this because of athletics, we go right into that athletics, that you could ask somebody to leave the property because they're violating policy.
That's
And while the police won't remove them because of the weapon, they'll remove them because I've asked them to leave as an AD or a superintendent, whatever, as a school official. And they refuse, we can do a no trespass kind of situation and they can be asked to leave. Never ran into it, but that's what the policy and the training that we had.
Thank you. I knew there was knew there was a
I
policy.
think we should,
Found it.
I think we should vote on the
Yeah.
motion on the floor, but
Okay, so if there's no further discussion, all in favor? All right, all opposed? All right, you got that, Phyllis? Okay, thank you. All right, we will move on. Academic calendar.
Sorry, just writing a note for myself. Real.
before
Okay.
before we leave that,
Yeah.
I would like to take that situation as it comes to the board. So as we come up to that situation and we say, how are we going to handle this? It's a conversation we have. Does that make sense?
it makes sense if I wasn't writing notes when you voted. So I'm actually not entirely sure what you guys decided. To be honest, perfectly fair.
Sure.
Should we assign somebody to work with the town of Kingston? Or is that, who are we gonna leave that to? Dan, or should somebody, like, I think a member of the
I
board?
think that
The new Kingston rep who is not here yet.
to Dan and the superintendent, as they're the people that are responsible. For. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so you'll give the board regular updates then about voting and stuff. All right, good.
So no students, I assume.
No,
that did not pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You should know that.
I looked at it just the wrong time.
We will.
I assumed that's what you did, but I
Right,
wasn't.
there probably
There probably will be, and I actually like.
And that's fine. Yeah.
Idea. There could be I don't know if it's a motion, but there could be a decision at that time that comes for,
Right.
we handle each situation
Yep.
as a unique event, even though we approved the voting here for the foreseeable future. We handle each voting
Yep.
as it comes, and we try and make the best decision we can at the
Right.
time, or whoever the board
We
is.
said yes to the voting is here, and then how we do that will kind of play out year by year.
Gotcha. Security.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of ways we can do it. Yep. Yep.
It'll change, obviously, depending on the political environment.
Absolutely, Dan. Yep. Yep.
We have to rotate with
Yep.
or roll with whatever happens.
Absolutely. Yep. Sorry, I didn't want to lose that moment.
I can't find the calendar.
Just open it up. You don't want to recycle that.
Okay, maybe that's why.
What are we looking at?
Does it only drive?
It's
Linked
it's
in the
linked
in the
what
notes.
That does. Here's update that he does.
Wait, which
Yeah, which email?
did you email an update?
Oh,
The
you mean
emails,
board
the
packet?
board
In the board
packet.
packet. Yeah.
Oh, it's in the board.
Sorry,
Oh, the packet.
I said update board packet.
So if you were trying to look for it and you didn't, you just have to roll it
Yeah.
over and it should reload it.
It's the email titled "Oopsie." Moment of levity.
I'm honest. I'm an honest guy. I think I wrote that.
Did right.
I did write that.
I emailed.
That's
So did
true.
I.
Own your
I
mistake.
was like, I see nothing, Bob.
Because there was nothing.
He's like, oopsie.
It was Saturday morning. Okay. Academic calendar. So the academic calendar that you're now looking at, I hope, is slightly reformatted calendar that I think is a little clearer than what we have previously done. So I'm welcoming some comments on that. And we'll talk about that also with the board calendar. I'm really thinking discussion here today, but because the calendar at the one who really drives all this, which is SAU 16, has not been approved yet. I believe that goes to their board this week or next. There are 177 academic days on this calendar, which is the same as we're doing this year. I spoke to our counter of the minutes at the office, and she says, I believe we're plus or minus about 5.5 to 6 days. So we could have snow days and not make them up and still meet the state requirements for hours based on a 177-day calendar. We have counted and recounted and relooked at the implications for the paraprofessionals contract and the current teachers contract that will apply for next year. So the PD days line up like that. You'll notice several PD days don't apply to the paraprofessionals. That's to meet their contract requirements of 176 days plus 5. And if you hear that it's 176 days for the paras and there's 177 school days, they get one floating holiday during the year to make that up. The professional staff do 186 days during that time. This accounts for the 10 variances we can have as a group of the sending schools to SST. And basically covers us on what we are hoping to do. The first discussion point really would be that delayed opening election day on the 8th of September. That's the primary election for the Senate, the House, and the governor. And I'm not sure if there's anybody else, maybe executive council's on there or something like that, but that will be an election day. And that would be the first one to look at. If you folks wanted to discuss my proposal, if you didn't want to have students here on that day, is we could do a PD day on that day and figure out a way to make it work. Whether we wanted to have staff here or not, and take the Friday, the 4th, and just slide that day into, and have that be a school day, which doesn't hurt us with SST because their other schools are taking the 8th off.
So having school on Friday the 4th and then having the PD day on the 8th.
Right. The reason I don't love that is it creates a 5-day starting week for our littles. And it'd be a 4-day week for, presumably, if we stick with the idea of not having opening the first day of school, applying for our 7th, 8th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders, but our basically kindergartners through 6th grade would all be going with it. They'd be starting with a 5-day week if we did it that way.
Could we start just Tuesday, September 1st?
We can do whatever you want.
If we started on September 1st,
What?
starting on September 1st,
It's to the 31st.
yeah.
It's to the 31st.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we would win the love and affection of people everywhere, not starting in August. I don't know.
I mean, the 31st is a Monday, the 1st is a Tuesday. But if
Something
we're
about September.
something about September.
Yeah.
That's how it was when we were kids.
The fact that we start right before a holiday weekend.
I know. All right, so do we have a motion on the table?
So I make a motion. I don't know. I should probably make one at a time.
You can do it all together.
Okay.
Can we just stand by? I'm checking my emails back. Right now, we have 10 variances within the group, exactly 10. And I don't believe, I think,
So I think what she's going to propose, I think what she's going to motion is to move school start date to September 1st
And move the
and move the PD day
from the
to,
4th to the 8th.
so it doesn't actually take away a school day. So we'd still stay at the same
it's
77.
it's a day off where we may not be able to do that. I'd have to basically find out from the group and see if we can do that and meet the legal requirement within the group. Because I think everybody else has that day as a school day.
No. So since this doesn't have to be approved tonight, do we want to hold off and just do a little more research?
That's kind of why I wanted to talk about it. So that's it's super helpful to know that.
So what we would
have
like
others?
to know is, can we start on Tuesday the 1st, and can we move the 4th PD to the 8th?
I'm almost certain we can move the 4th to the 8th because other people have the 8th off. But I will check on whether we can be off on the 31st. And we might be able to do the 31st off and adjust another day to line up with other people.
So we,
The primary, I think your primary is to move the 4th to the 8th, so there's no students in the school.
yeah, I mean, that's the primary. I mean, I'd love to, I agree. I don't want little kindergartners doing 5 days, but
Yeah, and that one is, that's doable. I'll check with Terry. The superintendent and Raymond coordinates all this, so I will check.
was there anything else you wanted us to look at?
What is ER?
Early release.
An old show.
It's actually coming to Netflix, if anyone.
Yeah, June 4th is graduation early release.
Then
And then
there's a-
December 23rd.
Yeah, December 23rd. Okay.
Yep. And that's another day we might think about, where y'all might think about.
doing a full day, no day. What would you?
Well, we're coming off, 2 blissful years of 2 weeks off. And going back to, a kind of a classical shorter 10-day vacation, whatever it comes out to. So I just think it's worth it's a thought if you guys, but what ends up happening is every time I look at adding a day off in the calendar, we end up with
Adding a day.
the last day of school is on a Friday, which is always a nice thing.
You're throwing me off because I'm used to reading up and down with the calendar.
I know.
I keep doing that, and then I'm like,
I do too. I keep getting so confused.
I know.
Yeah, I was confused. I'm like, where's January?
Change their
know.
format.
Did I mess with the format on you? Wait to see the other one. And I can fix it. They're easy to move around.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Okay. All right. So we are going to table that one until we get a little more information.
Where is the school board?
Board and budget committee calendar.
Oh, wow.
No, I went completely rogue. Oriented it the other way. So, because I keep getting him confused. It could be just me, but I get him confused. If you want me to move it back, it's simple.
yeah, you can't do this. Stick with one.
This works for my brain. It doesn't work for you. That's all. And I think,
I'm a left to right. This is just.
yep. Okay. So this lays out the meetings over the course of the year. It does assume July off. The first meeting of the year would be the 19th of August, and then it's basically the 1st and 3rd. With November being a little bit mixed up because of the budget meetings and so forth. Same with December, and then we've slotted in things. Phyllis and I worked on this a little bit to make sure we have the deliberatives and so forth in the place they need to be to meet the state requirements and so forth. It's basically straightforward.
Beating on my bird.
Oh.
I'd make a motion right now. I mean, you can.
And January is different because
January.
Because of budget.
Because of the budget.
Because of budget.
Public hearing, yeah, and budget.
Yeah, I'm actually glad you asked that, Ken. Thank you. I hadn't looked at this in a while. We ended up, I think, because we're in January right now, we ended up a little backed up because we didn't have that meeting on the 6th. It's a little tricky to come back from vacation and have it. But because of all the budget stuff that's going on, it's probably better if that meeting occurs on the 6th and not on the 13th. Because it gives us a chance to do some things that it is coming right off vacation, which is kind of a pain in the neck. But I think there might be some advantages because you have on February 7th, the budget committee, there's a meeting there. And then the hearing would be the week after. So it basically lines you guys up to having everything together.
It is similar to this past January. Canceled last week.
We met on the 6th.
So are you saying we should not have the meeting the 13th? We should have it the 6th?
No, he wants to keep it on the.
No, my feeling from this year was that we would have benefited from meeting on the 6th, as opposed to waiting until the 13th.
So he's saying, yes, switch it from the 13th to the 6th.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you guys have been doing a lot of these things. You've been doing this longer than I have. So your collective wisdom is
I
better.
would prefer not back-to-back weeks if we did do 6.
And do you have the 2 budget committee meetings on there for December 3rd and January 7th, just as situational awareness because that's budget season?
Mhm.
Okay. Because there's no other.
And that lines up to, I believe, the original calendar we had this year. I'm peeking to the back of the room over there, but I think that's how we started. And then we adjusted off of that. They may want to add some meetings. That's, I believe, set by them, not so much set by this group.
Heather, did you want to make a motion on that 13th or no? Or your birthday?
A motion to amend school board calendar in January 2027, move the meeting from the 13th to the 6th.
Second.
All right. Do you want to say, do you want to amend that to say amend and approve?
Amend and approve.
Perfect.
Second on a second.
Thank you. Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Do we have to approve the amendment first?
Well, we did an amendment we did a motion to amend and approve.
Oh, okay.
So I had to do
We
it.
did a twofer.
A twofer
I got
to
you.
try to make it easier. Okay. All right.
Vote again.
So now so all in favor? Unanimous. Okay. Okay, so old calendar budget process update. Actually, you were asking if we could move the open enrollment update ahead of,
We can do the budget.
or
piece.
wait, next. Okay, so budget
Budget
process
piece.
update and then next.
Yeah, it's just basically, it really is a repeat of what I talked about in the superintendent's report. Wasn't mistakenly redundant, but we do have the budget hearing continues tomorrow night. They will discuss the warrant articles that presumably we will, or you will, pass this evening. And then they will, they're continuing their meeting from last week to meet some legal requirements. They're going to discuss those, which they're required to do. Then they're going to adjourn tomorrow. Then they're going to start a budget committee hearing, at which point they will talk about whether or not they approve or their recommendations on the warrant articles, at least their preliminary recommendations, because of course they could all change in reality at the deliberative session. So just so people know, that meeting starts tomorrow night at 7:00 in the auditorium, because there is another meeting in here that may run long. So those 2 meetings will occur in the auditorium tomorrow night. And then the deliberative session will be at 7:00 on February 4th. We're going to talk about that later, but that will happen on the 4th. And then of course the voting is on the 10th of March. It's almost at Swayze here at the high school. And I believe it's the fire station in Newton.
Mhm.
Thank you.
So, 1 second. I'll get the agenda up. You said we're going to talk about the deliberative later. Is that what you said?
Did I?
That's what I thought I heard.
I don't know why I would say that, but okay. I don't know if I did or not. I don't believe we're going to talk about the deliberative later.
Slides that are being presented at the deliberative, well, because this is a budget process update.
Yeah, so I looked at last year's budget, deliberative session, and the session was brought into order by the moderator runs that meeting. I did seek some legal advice, and that meeting it is the board's meeting. It's kind of your first real step into, in particular, the budget process. And that meeting last year was handed over to the chair of the budget committee, who did a presentation of some slides, which I believe were very similar, if not a repeat of the slides that were presented at the public hearing a couple of weeks before that. The board representative, Mr. Patillo, was involved in that presentation as well. He read a couple of those slides. I do, like I said, in response to some questions I got this week, it is my understanding that as that meeting belongs to the board, as I was told, the board can define how that meeting works. So there was I believe a request from board member to bring that up tonight. So I think that's kind of where your discussion goes.
Yeah. So to be clear, the meeting is our meeting. The materials that we put out, we are accountable for. So whatever's presented at the deliberative session and how it is presented, we don't have to have any budget member up at any table. We don't have to allow them to come up and present with us either. I'm not saying we should do that. But I did attend a budget meeting last week. There's members in the audience that were there. And I was completely annoyed with the narrative that was being portrayed by the BudCom chair. And I don't think we should allow that. The narrative was not sticking to facts. It was going grossly to opinions. And I have multiple suggestions for changes to the slides, which we control and own. And we can go through them now. I don't know how you guys want to do it, but Mike, you're going to be at the meeting tomorrow.
Yep.
But we own this information. I am a stickler for data and facts, not opinions. And there's a second public comment, so I'd love for other people to speak about it because I don't want you to think it's just my opinion, but I'll give you an example. Article 3, the operating budget. We start off Article 3 by saying the average cost per pupil for the preceding year is calculated in accordance with RSA 189.75 1A is 27,000. ELA proficiency 56%, math proficiency 40%, science proficiency 34%. This doesn't have to be in this article anywhere. It has to be just before the article. So it doesn't have to be in this.
So that was in a warrant article?
This is the operating budget. So the law states now that you have to have this preceding the article, not in the
The
article.
proficiency.
Yes.
Okay.
Which to me adds no value.
I don't know.
And if we're going to talk about it, it should be on a slide. Like, hey, this is where we're at. This is where, the rest of the state is. And let me give you one other
It's
example.
another law that does not even have context to.
There was one other one. Hold on one second. Yeah, this one. This is a good one. Historical impact of inflation. I apologize if you can't see these, but historical impact of inflation. It basically is a graph and chart of the inflation rate over a course of 5 years being 24.68. The total appropriations and change by the district were 15.35. And the comment that was made was that's typically what you would see with a dwindling enrollment or declining enrollment. I'm sorry, I don't want to quote anybody wrong. But that's totally inaccurate. That may be a portion to it, but what inflation really impacts is all the expenses that we just congratulated Dan for operating at a 3% budget, but it impacts services and heat and oil. And instead of saying like, you would expect that, right? I think the message should be like, wow, that's really a great job by our administrators and our teachers and board and everybody who's involved with it. But that wasn't the narrative that I heard. And I'm very concerned. There's a number of slides in here that for me add no value. I don't know if everybody's had a chance to review them. I can send you my.
Yeah, which
how you
slide
wanna
are we
proceed.
talking about?
From the last,
Slides will be done.
from the last budget committee meeting.
Are they in our?
No.
I don't know if you even have, I requested them.
I watched the meeting, so I
Okay.
saw all of them.
So I guess my question is, historically, we've gone a few different ways. At times, we've allowed the budget committee to create their own slides, and then other times, the superintendent and the BA create the slides based on the budget, what we're doing, and then that's what we present. If we have concerns that there are things that are not accurate or biased, I would like it to be created by the business administrator and the superintendent with facts.
Okay. So you guys haven't seen the deck yet, right? Yeah.
I have.
No.
Yeah. So there's a slide 10 in there with enrollment trends. We paid tens of thousands of dollars for a NASDAQ study. We're not using that slide. And it's there. It's here. It's available on our website. So why we would use a slide that has no value, I'm not sure.
So would someone like to make a motion to change control of the slides to the superintendent and BA? I guess I'm open to anyone making a motion. We can have further discussion.
I'll make the motion for discussion. I don't know if it's.
I don't understand.
In order to continue discussion.
I'll make a motion that the final approval for any slides that are created by the superintendent and the business administrator be approved by the members of this board before they're presented, and we will determine who presents what slides.
Second.
Okay, discussion.
Yeah, so all I have in my memory is last year, so I'll keep it short. So last year, slides were created by Superintendent BA. Then they were distroed to the board. We had a chance to look at them. They said, okay, we collectively said, okay, these slides are, you're the most knowledgeable because you're on this subcommittee. You're the most knowledgeable because you're on this subcommittee. You'll read these. And then we went around, we fact checked the slides. We made sure they're correct and accurate. And I don't remember how, so the BudCom did sit with us up on that.
Yes, they always.
I forget how they were rolled into the slide.
They were. Hewitt had a slide deck and she presented.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
presented the budget stuff.
Yeah.
And then his name is in here. I have it. I'm gonna butcher it. Mr. Desmelik.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Moderator.
also, the moderator, read some of the warrant articles.
Yep.
Yes.
So that was.
So that's what I thought we would be doing this year as well.
I'm not, based upon the last meetings that I've seen and the narratives that I've heard, I'm not comfortable with that. There's too many opinions, not facts. I would offer that you should, if you haven't seen the meetings, and hopefully the people here will speak, but I'm just not comfortable.
But are you saying that you're not comfortable with what we did last year, replicating that this year?
I'm not comfortable. No, because last year the board didn't present the slides.
So we
I think
presented.
some members
budget
did.
committee.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there was
Yeah.
about
Yeah, the
40
board didn't-
slides.
Rick is saying the board didn't exclusively
Right.
present the slide.
No, it was the.
There wasn't.
I'm not even saying
There
like,
wasn't a narrative to control or deny last year.
Yeah.
Last year, it was very, very
It was aligned.
factually aligned. Nothing was in dispute, and there weren't facts that, for lack of a better term, were being weaponized on slides, which is now what I think Rick is referring to.
I'm not trying to control or deny access for anybody to speak. I want to be very clear on that. I have no patience whatsoever for narratives and stories and not facts. Okay. And that's what I don't want. And I've heard it now in 2 meetings. Okay. So I have no reason not to believe it's not going to continue.
Okay.
Okay. So I have several changes that I'll email all of you. One of the suggestions was there's nothing called out for state aid. Like how much are they giving us and what's the percentage? It's not on any slides. Like that came from one of the people that were attending the meeting. So some of the titles of the slides could be different, right?
Yeah.
So I have these, I'll send them out. And then I think we need to figure out who's going to present what.
Right. So the motion on the table is that the slides will be drafted or approved by the BA and the superintendent.
They'll be
Drafted
drafted
by
and then approved by the board.
Drafted by, approved by the board, and then presented
disseminated on who would present it.
Okay. Okay.
And just a couple of reminders. I just sent you a copy of the slides.
Okay.
You should know that in preparation already, we're ahead of ourselves. We had a slight change in the default amount. We have updated that since the budget hearing in those slides that you see, because that's a really current deck that you're looking at.
Okay.
And we also split out the statewide property tax number and the local property tax numbers on one particular slide to make it clearer how that works. So those numbers in there, Maria or I will hop back in there and highlight everything in red that was changed recently. Really just that one, because the other one is the default amount that was in there.
Okay.
And there was one other thing I was going to say.
So just process wise, to ensure, because this is for 2 weeks from now and we don't have another board meeting scheduled.
Yep.
I just want to make sure we don't get ourselves into a situation where we're deliberating outside of the public. So maybe what we should do is amend the motion to maybe have 2 board members review, like they get sent to everybody. There can be feedback sent back to the business administrator as individuals, not to the entire board, but as individuals. And then we have 2 board members give the final review and the final approval after feedback has been received to the BA and the superintendent.
And
I
when,
amend my motion to that.
Okay.
and when do we want our feedback, individual feedback of the slides back to Marie?
I guess it's going to depend on how much time.
Need to put them together.
Yeah. What do you need? I mean, I'm
Updated a lot of them already.
My changes
We
aren't
could
major.
take out
They're not major.
ones that you don't want. We can add any new ones.
okay.
Does
Just to work.
So like
if individual members,
Next Wednesday.
Yeah, I just need
we can do that.
time to go through it
Right.
methodically and with actually looking at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
we have some
Wednesday
free
would be
time.
great.
We have some free time Monday. Just to be clear, can individual board members send the 2 of us their thoughts?
Yes.
By email.
Send it
not
by-
commenting on the slides, by the way.
No, do not.
Sending
Yeah,
us
do
by
not
email.
make the slides
Editable.
editable.
Oh, you just have view rights.
Just view rights,
Yep.
please.
That's all you have now.
Yep, so we'll have view rights only, and then we will send both Marie and Bob our individual comments, not to any other board members, just to Marie and Bob. And then they will gather them all, and then the 2 board members that we assign to do the final review and approval will be able to see the requests, the email requests and changes and all that stuff to make sure that
They can approve it by Friday, the 30th.
depends on who is selected and what time they think they have.
And you guys also have the board has a meeting scheduled for 6 o'clock on the night of the deliberative,
Correct.
which would also give you an opportunity to do that. That could also, that's now currently on the books for 6 o'clock.
Right.
Presumably could start earlier, just a thought.
Yep.
You can figure out who's reading what.
Yeah.
Mike is on the budget.
He
committee,
is,
so
yeah.
I would,
You're
yeah,
okay.
I would feel
Probably.
comfortable with Micah being one of them.
Anybody else would like to volunteer?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, Rick, I mean, I didn't want to volunteer you as tribute, but
Yeah. I was kind of thinking Rick and Micah personally, but
Yeah.
you both seem to have the most
Knowledge.
knowledge right now.
Yeah.
Because you both were present at the last few
Yep.
meetings.
Okay. So do we need to vote?
yes. And do we need to, and then we'll make a separate motion to appoint.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
everything, so my motion was that
Phyllis, can you give me what the motion on the table is, just to clarify? I know we had to amend it.
So the final for slides created by the business administrator and the superintendent are that they draft and approve were approved by the school board.
Okay.
And then the second one said that we were going to, or that they'll be approved by 2 school board members. Same
Okay.
thing with 2 school board
Okay.
members.
Okay.
Did you mention?
Micah and Rick.
So we can amend it and just do it all together if we want. Do you want to just,
So amend it to add Mike.
Micah and Rick.
Myself as final approvals.
Do we say
And no.
approved or reviewed?
It's to
Noting board
by
feedback.
the 28th.
And
yeah, noting board
notes
feedback.
To the 28th, to
28th.
Marie and Bob.
Okay. All right. And did you amend your second?
He did.
Second time? Okay, fantastic. I'm just trying to keep this
I'll
right
second
here.
it 'cause I think I second.
Okay, all right. So then, is there any further discussion? All right, all in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Whew, all right, I think we made it through that.
Yeah.
And now we have to review the warrants.
So if the board doesn't have any opposition, Superintendent Dawson has asked that we move 8.8 up. Do you have a quick discussion or maybe not a discussion on open enrollment? He wants to give us a quick update.
Yeah, it depends. I do have a presentation I can do on open enrollment. We can just discuss it. That really is up to whatever is the will of the group.
Discussion.
I'm into that. No.
I'm fine with if someone wants a presentation, but I'm fine.
No, and building the presentation was extremely helpful in me organizing my head on where we're at. So, open enrollment is there is a current program in New Hampshire that allows school districts to accept students in an open enrollment basis, where a student would enroll in a district who takes students in that fashion. The sending district pays 80% of their own per pupil cost, depending on level. So it does change elementary versus middle and high school. And those children then enroll in another district. There's only one district currently in New Hampshire that does open enrollment. That's Prospect Mountain up in Alton. That's where their high school is. They take high school students only.
Where Miss Grella went.
Yes, it is. And they are taking students. There are laws right now in the state legislature that are looking to alter the way that open enrollment works. For instance, the current version of the law that I looked at just recently, a couple days ago, has changed that 80% payment amount. This is Senate Bill 101. As I looked at it yesterday, they've amended that bill, or in the process of proposing an amendment to the bill. It's very hard to tell. To 100% of the cost. So one of our students were to decide to go to, say, Prospect Mountain, we would be on the hook as a district to pay 100%.
You said that's proposed, but not final.
100% is proposed. It's not, the bill has not passed in the legislature as far as I know, unless it happened. So the question is, what is the process for us to become an open enrollment school and accept the students? And there's a couple things there. We can do that. We would have to hold a public hearing and meet some of the other requirements, which I believe are relatively straightforward. We would then become, to be honest, the only school in our area that would be accepting students in an open enrollment basis. We also we could potentially put something on the ballot to say we're going to allow a certain amount of students to leave and budget for that and so forth in an open enrollment basis. And by law this year, there is one line out of the 1,900 or so lines in the budget, which has $1 in it for tuition for an open enrollment student. That's in there. So if we did have a student do this, we could then move the money into that line and then pay for that kid to go to that school. A couple of interesting things have happened along the way as open enrollment has come to be. So districts don't necessarily budget for this. So there are districts that have said, well, we don't want to pay for it. The kid can go, but they got to pay their own money. We're not covering that funding. The state Supreme Court in what's being called the Pittsfield decision said, yeah, you got to pay if your kid goes to this open enrollment school. And of course, Pittsfield and Prospect Mountain are relatively close to one another because one of their pieces is that transportation is not paid for by the sending district or the receiving district. It is a responsibility of the student and their parents or guardians. So it's, a kind of a complicated thing. It would be, I understand, an opportunity for us potentially to draw some students into the district. And of course, the potential exists for us to have students leave the district at the same time. From the way I understand it, it's kind of unclear, but special education has been described as something that is covered very much like a charter school. So we would be responsible for handling the special education costs of a student if they were attending a school in another district, very much like we do for charters right now. There's a lot of little details in here. One thing that's very important to know is that a lot of what is being planned for around the state for districts that are looking at this, including us, is that the final bill that would sort of put this in play has not even been passed yet. So people are planning right now for a law that only exists for people to receive students. There is no legal language in there, as far as I know, that really defines exactly how it's going to go. And there are competing bills, and there's a House bill and a Senate bill, and it all may change by June or by next week or whenever they get around at the state legislature to acting on those particular bills, one way or the other. So there's several ways that we can handle this open enrollment situation. The first would be to do nothing. And I can tell you that of the 8 or 9 districts around us, I believe 6 of the districts around us are doing that. They're not putting anything on the warrant this year in regards to open enrollment. So, and the talking to their superintendents, and I've spoken to all of them, there's just what the real consensus is, there's just no clarity on what this is really going to look like. And so they're not willing to go out there and plan for it. We could also say we're going to accept students and allocate a certain amount of money for sending, or we could just allocate money to send kids. That we can do really any one of those hundreds of combinations that kind of fall into that. If we decide to accept students on an open enrollment basis, we have to have a hearing, and there's a whole lot of planning, which in my opinion, we don't really have the time to do right now before this warrant would have to go on the ballot on March 10th. One other option that some districts are doing is they're putting a 0-0. They're saying we're going to allocate 0% of we're going to allow 0% of our students to go, and it has to be a percentage of students. And we're going to accept 0% of our students. I have seen legal advice saying they shouldn't do that. I've seen legal advice saying you can do that. And I've seen legal advice from people saying, well, maybe you shouldn't do that. It's literally all over the place. And I really don't think there is clarity in the state right now about how this whole thing is going to work, because let's be honest, the bill isn't even passed yet. We're planning for something that to a large extent doesn't exist. And so I have some warrant article wording if it's something you guys want to consider. But my strong recommendation would be that we kind of sit this one out for this year and don't do anything as far as open enrollment, largely because of the disclarity as to what it's actually going to look like by the time we hit the season for doing this in July, August, or whenever the legislature does whatever they're going to do, and who knows what they're going to do.
Are there any questions?
So just to clarify, there is potential bills that could impact us, but there's nothing currently in place.
Correct. There is a bill that allows a school to become an open enrollment school and for kids to enroll in that school. That school, I believe, accepts only 20 students right now in the state. There's only one. And then as the bill changes, and if you look at the editing of the bill, there's all kinds of changes that are occurring to the law within the bill, which to me just creates this huge amount of disclarity.
So question, and maybe this John question. If, let's say, this bill does pass and then in the summer we'd like to become an open enrollment, could we do a public hearing to vote on that?
I think you can call a public hearing at any time, can't you? But does it have to go onto a ballot?
Believe this has to be approved through a warrant article.
Okay.
Then it would have to be.
That was my
next voting.
question.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
You can call a public hearing whenever you want, but it has to go onto the ballot to be voted on by the taxpayers. Then it would have to be next.
Could you do a special election?
It's a lawyer question.
We'd have to get back to you on that one.
Okay. All right. Just curious, because I wouldn't want to put something on a ballot that we don't have clarity
I would agree.
We can't have clarity though. There's no passed bill yet. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, I just want to be, I mean, there is, like I said, there is a bill that allows schools to adopt the receiving of students. Only one school has done that so far. In our area, there's only one school I'm aware of, and they're accepting exactly 4 high school students, and they have to be ridiculously high academically. So in my opinion, and this is purely my opinion, they've written that particular one to limit it to almost nobody can go there. So they're threading a needle a little bit to make it work.
Thank you for the information.
No worries.
So open enrollment's already a law, but we have not discussed that previously.
No, we have not. Nobody, no, that hadn't been brought to our attention before about becoming an open enrollment school. That might be a larger discussion.
I agree. It's
down the road.
A little late in the season to.
And it changes Yeah, I mean, I've been, tracking this for a while with the superintendents, obviously are very involved in this. And I've spoken to everybody pretty much in the Seacoast about it in groups and individually. And it's so, everybody's like, I don't know what it's going to be. They really don't know what it's going to look like when the legislation is finished.
And the future legislation could actually change current legislation. So
Yep.
it makes sense to hold off until that's firmed up.
Yep.
I mean, I do think looking at some of our long-term goals, I think it's definitely something we should talk about, but we need to wait until we have more direction from.
Yeah, I mean, I went to a workshop last June at the state level for superintendents, and there was a presentation by the school that's taking the students right now. And I wrote opportunity on the side of the paper. I was really interested in looking at it, but without firm legislation and even a start date on the legislation, I just don't think it's, worth taking a chance right now.
Develop policies, right?
Yep.
There's a whole lot of work that needs to be done. Yep.
Yeah.
And how would we even explain that to our constituents? If we don't have a lot of information, how would we kind of market this, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, I think if it passes at the state level, there's some real clarity about how the program's going to run. There's some real language in there. Some people have gone through the process. We have some precedent to follow and so forth. I think it's something we, as a district, really need to take a strong look at. But you could end up doing all that work, and then the other districts have all said we're not going to spend any money on it, and you don't attract anybody. So it's really, really wide open right now as to where we're at.
A lot of questions.
So it sounds
Anybody?
like, and correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like this should be tabled and discussed again at a later date once.
Yeah.
The decision is firmed up.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. Right. Warrant article 2026 review. I don't know why that says my name because I didn't write them.
No, I think we were being
You're trying to share that.
being kind.
Yeah, you don't need to be kind. You and
Boards.
Marie can review your recommendation.
Yes. Okay. Where is my link? There it is. So you see the draft warrant that I sent out to everyone, or linked to everybody. It basically follows this. I'll go through the first two are very straightforward. First is the election of the officers. That's legally required. I don't know if the board has to act on that or not, honestly.
I don't think we have to.
Don't think so.
That's
Number two is a standard general acceptance of reports. So you can be accepted and placed on file. That seems to be on there every year. So that's boilerplate. There were a lot of questions about the third one, which is the operating budget. And I did quite a lot of research on this particular one. So this year, the state passed a law, and I believe it is RSA 67120, which requires the district to list certain information. And the wording they use in the law is Part 2, immediately preceding the question of adopting a school budget, the following information shall be printed on the ballot. And to simplify, the first is the average per pupil cost, and the second are the overall district proficiency rates in ELA, and it does say ELA, it doesn't say English language arts, it just says ELA, math and science. So and that's listed, and that second part is in quotes. So that must be printed on the ballot itself immediately prior to the question on the budget itself. And so the warrant, as you see it on page 1 of the document I sent you, has it all kind of squished together in one thing. That is language that was recommended to us by the Business Administrators Association. There are districts that I poked around and looked at that are presenting this information pretty much exactly like this. There were some comments that I got from board members basically saying that looks terrible and I wish we could do something different. I won't disagree with that. But there are also some, and the other question was, can we add to that information, for instance, the state per pupil cost and the state scores on the exams to give people more information through that?
You can't.
What's that?
Appropriate context.
You can't hear.
Correct. To provide the context. And I received legal advice yesterday that we're not allowed to do that. But what was really interesting
To this freaking
was that the warrant and the ballot can be different, that was shocking to me. I was like, really? So we can pass a warrant that has more information on it than is included on what is allowed to be printed on the ballot. The ballot was described to us yesterday in a phone call Marie set in on as sacrosanct, where you can't put anything additional on there but what is required. And the attorney I spoke to said that it has to be printed exactly as it's written in the law on the ballot. And the ballot is controlled by the towns, as I understand it. And so I think it is, if we want to include additional information in the warrant, that I'm told is okay. But I think when we send the warrant off to the towns, it feels to me like a little bit of an ethical responsibility to say, hey, here's the legal information we got. You don't have to go out and seek it. This is what we were told. They can seek whatever they want at the town level, but we could add that. What I did, my suggestion would be to separate, which we can do by a couple of line breaks, the required information and the budget amount question, either as we pass the warrant or as a recommendation of how it's printed on the ballot for the towns. What the town can't do, as I'm told, is change the wording, that the wording should also be the exact wording in the law, which is the average cost per pupil for the preceding year as calculated in accordance with RSA 189:75, section 1A is $27,191.73. So we can put line breaks in there. We can break it out differently. On the last page of that document, way down the bottom, or the next to last page, the way the warrant has presented in the last couple of years in the warrant book is each article is broken out into like a box, almost like a table box, and the article name is written in there. And I've replicated that to a certain extent down on page, I think it's page 5.
Yep.
That we could do the general acceptance of reports in that way, then add that information. This can only be done to the warrant. It cannot be done on the ballot. I know I said that 3 times, just to make sure we're on the same page here. And then the operating budget question would follow that. So how you guys want to handle that as a board, that is entirely up to you. And do you want to continue on that, or do you want, I don't know whether you guys want to talk about that now, or the next 2 are fairly straightforward.
I prefer the line breaks. It's confusing enough as it is.
It
To
is
lump it
very
all together.
confusing.
Okay. So I can edit this, what's on here.
So like the example you have, Timberlane did the line breaks, correct?
That was how it was printed in their agenda for a board meeting. Yes.
Okay.
And regarding having the warrant different than what appears on the ballot, would that information be better in the slides that could be presented? Rather than confusing the warrant article?
100%. I have a whole slide on it, right? So like,
But
when
yeah,
I
I'd
send
rather
that
not
in,
confuse the warrant article.
But
And in the handoff to the town, like we have one version that has text in it that we're going to send to the town that doesn't have text in it. Version.
Yep.
Let's just keep the warrant article clean. And again, use the opportunity that the slides are going to be presented. Any additional information we want to share with it. And I support it too. Like the town should know where we stand relative to the rest of the state. I mean, all that information is public. It should be shared.
so you're saying line breaks?
Yes, line breaks.
I agree with line breaks.
I agree.
All right, so do I have a motion on Article 2?
What do we do? Typically move each article?
Typically, we have to vote on each article that that is associated with money, and the vote has to be recorded for the ballot.
I'll make a motion to approve Article 2, utilizing the language.
I'm sorry, Article 3.
Article 3.
When I was looking at
Sorry.
Timberlane's, it was
Yeah.
Article
That's
2,
what I
and
just
I
put-
came back up and I was like, wait, that's Article.
I'll make a motion to approve Article 3 with the language that is there, provided that we put in the line breaks, exactly like the example we're all looking at, the Timberlane example.
Second.
Any further discussion on that part of it?
My only question is for Marie. That number is accurate, the average cost per pupil?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
And the default budget is changed in the bottom now.
Does that average cost come from DOE as well?
Yes, it comes from the DOE 25, the report that we.
Yep.
And it's last year.
Yeah, it's fiscal 25's cost per pupil.
Yeah, it says preceding year. Yep.
All right, all in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
Article 4 is the Teamsters contract. The wording here is just copied from the last year's, the para contract. I did say Teamsters Local 633 and included a parentheses Sanborn administrators, which is how it's listed in the document itself. For clarity purposes, the estimated increases are there. And then Article 5 is the sort of classic reconsideration article, so that if that fails, the board can call a special meeting to just to reconsider that particular item.
Make a motion to approve Article 4 and Article 5.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
It was me.
That was Micah.
Okay. Articles 6 and 7 are to a certain extent, and there's an 8 there as well with just a different one. I put together the wording that we would need to add money to the capital reserve fund. Maria's added a note on there for the capital reserve fund if we wanted to get it to $1 million and it was just a placeholder number. It would be adding $515,545 to that. And then the special ed expendable reserve fund, to get that one to $1 million, would be $358,712. Those numbers are entirely up to you guys. And then there's several other trust funds and so forth. And I wanted to have the wording in place for a reserve fund and a trust fund. So Article 8 is only there as a placeholder in case it was the will of the board to go in that direction.
I'll make a motion to approve Article 6, the Capital Reserve Fund, as written, but with the changes to an amount of $265,548.65.
So bring it to 750.
Hold on.
You got that?
265,548.65.
Correct.
I'll second for discussion.
Yeah, so I know we had these numbers thrown at us by people. My personal opinion, as a taxpayer, all taxpayers here, going from where we are to the extreme in this year is going to be tough. Not only for us at this table, but everybody watching, everybody in this room. And I know what our goal is, but I don't think we need to get there this year.
Yep.
I think Newton's getting reassessed or already has been reassessed.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Kingston's already been reassessed. So
Yep.
I think that based upon where the capital reserve fund is today, that 265, 548 and change brings us up to 750. And I think that's a reasonable number and a reasonable ask based upon the economic conditions. And I'm going to make a similar motion to Article 6.
I would agree with that sentiment.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree we need to get goal to get to, but trying to do it all in one fell swoop is just, it's irresponsible.
Yep.
I
And
do.
there-
Sorry. Go ahead.
There's a sentiment in the community. I don't think it's accurate, but I don't think we do a good enough job portraying it publicly, that we don't consider people that are retired and on fixed incomes, and that it's just, anything for the kids and let's just keep throwing money at it. And that's not true. And so I appreciate that sentiment, Rick. And I agree that we need to reasonably and methodically make our way to be responsible in the school, but we are doing it with the consideration of those that are on fixed incomes and are having trouble financially. So I agree with that.
Yeah. And I was just going to say, thank you for putting some place fillers in there to let us know
Yep.
how far away we are so we can make educated decisions.
Yep.
That's appreciated. And I completely agree. Trying to do this in smaller chunks definitely is more palatable, not just for those that are older and on fixed incomes, but just for a lot of families in general.
Yeah.
That are really struggling right now. So, and that's why it's a separate warrant article. That's for the voters to decide ultimately.
Yep.
So, all right. Is there any further discussion? All right. All in favor? Right, so I have Micah, Rick, myself, and I didn't see your hand before, Heather. Sorry.
okay.
Okay, so it was unanimous. Sorry about that. You were too fast. I missed it. I thought you were in favor, but then I didn't see your hand. Okay, Article
7, Special Education Expendable Reserve Fund, same language. And this one, we are $358,712, and I'll use the very specific term, from $1 million.
I'll make a motion to approve Article 7 as written with the amount changed to $108,700, $108,712. That'll take us to 750.
108, 712.
Yep. I'll second that. Discussion.
Basically the same
Same reasoning.
Thank you, Rick.
Same reasons.
Oops. All right, so all in favor? Unanimous. Great, thank you.
I'll make a motion to remove Article 8.
Okay. Okay, I'll second that.
Yeah, we have $197,207 in that fund now. I don't think the 75,000 is going to make or break us, and I just think we can.
Yeah.
Anything we can give back, I think is gonna help.
As I said, that was just a placeholder in case.
No, understood.
No, appreciate it.
Yep.
No, it gives us options.
Yep.
And wording to use and, make changes to, so it's helpful. So thank you. If there isn't any further discussion, all in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
Chair, is it all right if I use the restroom?
Yeah, do we want to take a quick 5-minute break?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
Okay,
We're gonna take-
okay, so coming back in agenda item 8.7, signing of the default budget.
It should be in a folder.
Talk about the numbers.
Before I get to sign that, I think we need to modify that so it can be signed.
Maria, it says you'll explain more.
I'll fix that.
Yes. So
I'll fix that.
after the budget hearing, the default was. So according to the law, you have, if we had any cuts in our proposed, we have to cut them also in the default. So the default reflects to position cuts. So that's why the default went down. Yes.
So we have to sign the MSDSB. default
Yes,
budget.
that's the default. Mhm.
And this is the edited
Yes,
per the new law.
I did it this morning.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Not so much a new law, it's just a kind of a reinterpretation of what we have been doing previously.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And the two positions that are ones that were not filled at all this year. We didn't have an intention to do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
So do we have to have a motion and discussion, or it just goes to each board member to?
Just goes to each board member to sign, and then we just have to post it by the 26th, which I'll
Okay.
probably run and do that Friday before Monday.
Yep.
Phyllis and I can have a field trip.
I love that.
We have to bring it to Concord?
No, we have to
Okay.
post it to the town.
Oh.
You guys sharing pens over there?
Micah, do you need a writing utensil?
I left it in my truck. Rick has bailed me out.
You can keep.
Rick usually has multiple pens.
I
in
do.
his Bag of.
Yeah. I have another pen if you want.
Nothing's changed since high school. I was that kid.
All right, so that will go around for each board member. We already did open enrollment.
Oh, yeah.
So it says approval of settlement agreement. Approval has already happened. So it was more just kind of an update acknowledgement. So I don't know.
Yeah. Just for the information of the community, there has been an ongoing dispute related to enrollment in and the contract that exists between the Sanborn Regional School District and the Fremont School District. There is a dispute related to enrollment, and to avoid further legal fees and continued litigation and arbitration, the board agreed to settle with Fremont. I should say Fremont agreed to settle with us. And we think there's an agreement that we accepted, and we just wanted to make it known to everyone that there will be it will be public. Yes.
Yes.
As soon as everything's finalized, it will be public.
I believe, Marie, did you receive the payment? Yes. So Marie has received it.
Okay.
So everything is.
Everything's on the up and up. Good. Okay.
So. Okay. All right. Now the board needs to discuss the process for filling the open board position. So we should, I don't know how we handle this. I don't know how, it's kind of hard to start with a motion on this. So,
Let's start with a motion.
okay, you have one, great.
Make a motion that the board follows the policy BBBE and BBBC to fill the vacancies that are consistent with RSA 671-33, Article 2B.
Second.
Okay, discussion?
Sure. Our own policies state that the two remaining Kingston members and the at-large member interview and select a person. The other board members can be present. They don't have a vote. And I'm offering, for the sake of expediency, that we set the meeting at the interview date we set the date tonight. We're all here. We all have calendars. And if other board members want to be at that date that worked for these three members, you're more than welcome to attend. But based upon the fact that we have dates upcoming in the next couple of weeks, which I'll go over here shortly about the superintendent update, I'd like to get that as soon as possible.
Okay. So do you want to do the dates separately, or like get this motion done and then talk about dates after, or?
No, the motion was just that we follow our own policies.
Okay.
That was, I think that, because it said process for filling open position on the board, that should be our process.
Okay.
That's why they
So,
exist.
okay, so I was under the impression that the board had to set the actual process, like our, it says that the board sets the process, but it doesn't actually clearly define the process. So that's why I was just asking for clarification.
The policies actually they go right to 671. I'll read it. I printed it, so. RSA and our policies reference 671. RSA 671-33 assigns appointment authority to the town representing members. Policy BB requires the interview and selection process occur in a duly noticed public meeting, which it stands for, but does not require the full board to participate. Only the members with statutory authority need to be present. We would set the date. Everybody else is welcome to attend.
So do we want to take feedback from the board on how long we should leave the filing date open? That has not been listed, like the final date for the filing.
The filing was posted last week, correct?
Yep.
How many applications do we have?
4
total already?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's good. When was the last one that you got?
today.
Okay, good.
Wow,
So
great.
good. How about we suggest that we close it tomorrow? And then we set an interview. I'm ready to interview on Friday. And I can go whatever days you guys want. I'll make it work.
Okay.
Have we posted it outside of the email and the?
Yes, it's been posted at Kingston Library as well as the post office last week.
as well.
Okay.
Yep.
I just want to make sure we've given enough opportunity for
Sure.
people that don't have social media.
I cross-posted
Yep.
it on social media and we
Yeah.
put it everywhere in Kingston.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think as part of the discussion, I think we're also at a point where we don't want to delay too long because we have such a short window that we need to get things done, and we need to ensure that we have a quorum present at all those meetings. And I know a lot of us have work travel that we're gone for, and so ensuring that there's 7 board members would absolutely behoove us to make sure that we can move forward with the work that the district has elected us to do. So I don't think we have a lot of time to leave it open any much longer. We already have four people, and it's going to be a short fill because this is only up until what, March 10th?
March, yeah.
March, let's call it.
9th,
Yeah,
9th, 10th.
Yep.
And whatever.
So,
yeah.
we need time. We 3 of us need time to, schedule a date to go through 4 candidates, and I'd like to, move it along as quickly as possible.
So when are you suggesting closing it?
When did we open it? Friday? So tomorrow would be a week, right?
I'm going on memory. I think it was Friday. Was it Thursday or Friday?
Friday.
It was Friday, right? Yep.
Yep. So I think given the nature of the position and given how much it's been posted and, Mrs. Bashaw's resignation, how widely that was disseminated and how quickly that was disseminated, I think there's been adequate time. Obviously, 4 people have already made their desire known. So my recommendation, maybe add it to the motion that we close it tomorrow and then move forward. I'm not how we want to do that.
Tomorrow at 11:59 PM.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'll
Well,
amend.
when you have to do it when Phyllis.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
because they can come in email too, or do they? Have they been
They can come in email.
They can come via email.
emailed? That's what I thought, but I just wanted to double check and make sure we.
So 11:59 PM.
Yep.
Good with that? All right, so I'll amend my motion that the filing be closed at 11:59, January 22nd, 2026.
I will amend my second.
All right, all in favor? Unanimous? Okay.
Do we want to coordinate a date for interviews?
Yeah, we can.
Yep.
Oh, this may be overkill, but well, Phyllis really has all the candidate letters. Should we do an authorization for us to share those with the board as a whole, or is that unnecessary?
No,
I don't think it's necessary.
no, it would, but what will have to happen is they will be public the day of the interviews.
Yeah.
Each
I just
letter.
want to know when we would share it with the board as a whole.
I think at
Board
the,
can have it now.
I don't know. I guess we'll have to ask for clarification.
I mean, we're gonna know who the people are when they come for the interview.
Yeah. I think we should wait. It would be prudent, I think, to wait until it closes.
And
So
then
they receive everything. When it closes, we receive.
Yeah, I think.
And we'll send it to you Friday,
Protect the
like
Friday
process.
morning?
first thing Friday morning.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Cool. Great.
Great.
Glad I asked.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm on a wicked short timeline for work travel, so
Okay.
I don't know what you guys are.
Yeah, my Friday's not great. What is your work schedule?
I'll make anything work. Just give me days.
Honestly, the best day is going to be Monday, but I know that's the snow.
Yeah.
I know. And that,
And we have a Monday night meeting.
And we have a Monday night meeting.
I know Monday, yeah.
What's the meeting Monday night?
It's
Meeting with Zeal
With Zeal.
for superintendent hiring.
It's on the list
Yep.
that was put out earlier.
So I could make Friday work. I'll be honest, I'm getting a crown on my tooth on Friday morning.
Just push.
I love how all this stuff is just,
Right.
but I'll make it work for the board.
Right.
Do
it right after. Right after.
Yeah, I'd like maybe at least a little bit of time to let the drooping stop.
Did you
I-
say Friday afternoon?
Friday is gonna be hard for me. I'm watching relative
Yeah.
that day.
Okay.
And they're staying at my house.
Okay.
And
So Friday's a no for you?
yeah, unfortunately. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
How
No.
about Tuesday? Tuesday
I
evening?
think I have Tuesday. Yeah, I should be able to do Tuesday.
Should we do 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock here?
So we're gonna have right now there's 4. Are we thinking 30-minute interviews?
Yeah, at max.
I was
say.
gonna say, yeah, I think
Yep.
in the past we've done like
15.
15.
So when
Yeah.
I,
If we schedule for 30 though, it gives us time to
Yeah.
work, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, the
About-
only problem is each candidate
Yep.
is given a time.
Yep.
And they wait out there.
Yep.
So they don't typically show up
Yeah.
that early.
Okay.
So we want to be a little more.
oh, see, it was, so, because I had to go through this.
Yeah.
It's not selected, but we all were in the same room together.
Oh, because when I did it, we were,
You're not supposed to.
yeah, you're not supposed to.
No.
They're supposed to be. Yeah,
Everybody was
no,
in-
and when I did that,
Public.
before getting on the
It
board.
was public, it was video.
Yeah, it was public. It's public, but the candidates are asked to stay outside that aren't being interviewed, so they don't hear the questions ahead of time, so it doesn't give anyone an unfair advantage.
So I could do as early as 4.
I'm just,
Do
I don't know who.
candidates and their work schedules. We have to be cognizant of that as
Yep.
well. Could we reach out to each candidate and find out how early they could start? Because if we do have somebody that could start as
Yeah.
late as 4
Yep.
I could do that. And we could
Yep.
put them in at 4 and then
Yep.
do 4:30. I mean,
Yeah.
that's,
And that's Tuesday,
Tuesday, the 27th.
27th.
Yep.
And we're gonna reach out. Phyllis, are you gonna do that? Okay, thank you. And then we can set a schedule based upon availability and then we'll
Yep.
determine start time.
correct. Yeah.
I'm just gonna block off 4.
Yeah. I'm just going to block off the afternoon and evening.
I'm gonna block off 4 to 7.
You don't have any other crowns or anything?
I do, but
Okay. all right.
And then we select that evening.
Yes.
Okay.
It's selected
Yeah.
that night.
what do I have to put up with? You know what I mean? Get no respect.
But we'll notice that as a public meeting along with.
Yes.
We will, as soon as we finalize
We'll listen to Rick. They
the time based on the candidates.
Yes.
dropping like flies
We'll
all
have
the time.
Phyllis notice it.
All right.
Correct. So if you could preemptively, individually reach out to the members and ask them their availability starting at 4 o'clock.
Yep.
I would do
Maybe-
15 minutes.
I think 15 minutes, honestly.
I think that's all we're gonna need.
I think typically,
Sure.
They do like an elevator pitch, why they want it.
yeah.
We can have.
And then we can ask a question if we want.
Yeah, I could send out just some drafts to us to read.
Yeah.
And just review them and then
Yep.
you chime in with it.
Right. Yeah.
Questions.
Yeah. I already know what I want to ask, so.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Well, why don't you send that to us and I can include it, right? At least-
Sure.
Just in case you
Did
can't
we
talk
approve
that
this
night.
or do I need to take?
We need to take a vote.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was like.
Need a motion. Need a motion.
So deep in discussion, I got lost here. Okay. All right. Is there any further discussion?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I think we have gotten it all ironed out. All in favor? Okay, unanimous. Thank you. Since the SCO, the Sanborn Community Organization, presented earlier during the subcommittee report, they have left for the evening. So that one is, I guess, technically tabled, even though it happened earlier. And then, Bob, do you have any updates on school board goals?
I don't have any updates now.
Okay, we'll work on that for the next meeting. And then Rick, superintendent search update.
Oh.
This is where we talk about days and times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Monday.
Yeah, because we made some adjustments, some suggested adjustments based upon feedback from some board members. So, all right, so we've been in contact with Zeal. They received a total of 10 applications. Originally, it was 11. One candidate withdrew this week. We have one internal candidate from New Hampshire. We have one candidate from Maine. We have one candidate from Connecticut. We have 3 candidates from Massachusetts and 4 candidates from New Hampshire. Zeal is going to take those candidates based upon the profile that's been put together, and they're going to send us between 6 and 8 suggested candidates for us to review. Jeff sent me a message just while we're in this meeting. He's going to be sharing a folder with the board. He'll send it to me and I'll send it out to the board. With slate applicants materials on Friday by end of day. So that way we'll have the weekend to sort of look through it. And then he'll present, those videos, introductory 90-second videos of each one of the candidates. So he'll present those on Monday night when we have that meeting, but you'll get the information to review over them. Okay.
What time is that on Monday?
January 26th is at 5:30 PM. That's his suggestion of what time we start. Dawn and I traded some emails. I don't know how it's gonna be decided to post it, but due to the snow, we can meet virtually. That is an emergency situation, so
I did have Phyllis double check
Yeah.
and make sure that this did constitute an emergency, and because of the timeline that we are trying to meet,
Yeah.
it is considered an emergency, so I can, at the last minute, if a snow day is called for the school, I can call it to be an emergency virtual meeting. So instead of it being an in-person meeting, so we can still hold it, and what will happen is it will be, it's public to open, but then it will go to non-public because we're discussing particular details about individuals. So there's really not going to be a lot to see. And then we'll come back out into public, and if there's anything that we need to discuss publicly at that point. So it's not going to be a lot of fun to see on Monday. I
Yeah.
apologize.
1.5 to 2 hours. That's what Jeff said to expect, roughly.
So
We
if
said
the-
5:30, right?
Yep.
yeah, so
That would be here if we're in.
if the storm shifts and goes a different way, we'll be here. And if not, we will all be virtual, and Phyllis already has spoken with Gordon, and they're already working on the logistics for both options, to TBD based on weather.
Bless you.
Okay. Originally, we were talking about 2 days for semifinal candidate interviews, the 5th and the 6th. Jeff has suggested that we lock that down to just 1 day instead of 2. I think, Jeremiah, I think you said the 5th was good, right?
That is correct.
6, you had issues, and last time that we all met, I believe most people said the 5th was good for them.
5th shifted. I responded saying the 6th is now better for me, but
Well, okay.
6 back-to-back meetings, that just with my new role.
Okay. Well, we just have to lock in a day, 5th or 6th, just so we have a quorum. And we can come back to that, but he suggested we start at 9 AM. Interview, I'm sorry, select interview questions, go through some ethics training, about 30 minutes, right? Just make sure we have the right questions down. Interview 3 candidates, take a long break, and resume at 4 o'clock to interview the remaining 3 candidates.
I'm gonna struggle with the 9 AM. That's just me based on my schedule and the dates I've already had to take off
On what day?
work. Or honestly, any of them. I already have quite a few dates that I had to take off for family obligations in just the first months of the year, medical and otherwise. So I'm not going to be able to do a 9 AM. I don't know if I can try to remote in if there is a quorum in person, so I can at least listen in and be part virtually.
What time could you start?
And I realistically 2. But I know
On
that
the
this
5th?
is very.
On the 5th?
I think either the 5th or the 6th.
How about you, Ken?
Uh,
You're gone that whole time.
You're gone the whole time.
Okay. And then how about you, Mike?
I can do whatever.
You can do whatever. So 1, 2,
3 on the 5th.
3 on the 5th. I can
Plus-
do all
plus the new person.
all day on the 5th.
Well, I can't count on the new.
can't.
I'm just saying
Until
Maybe.
after. Right.
So
I can do it. I can do the 6th. I just can't.
And you're good all day on the 6th. Heather?
I have 9:30 to 10. I have a mandatory meeting, but I'm good the rest of the day. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we could start at 10 then.
I also could do the 6th.
But I don't, Jeremiah can't.
That's a Friday, right?
Yeah, I can't do the 6th.
Another,
Okay.
So you get
We have
three,
You either get 3 and 3.
you get
All right.
3.5, or you get
But we have to have
2
4
and
in
a
person.
half, and most of Friday.
But we have to have 4 in person.
Right.
That's the
What?
issue.
And we will have, this is why we need to get a 7th member
Good.
appointed. When does he need that
Which
locked
is
in?
which is the best day right now? The 5th or the 6th? What are we going with?
How many people can do the 5th? Raise your hand. How many people can do the 6th? Raise your hand.
So, oh, you have a quorum there.
Oh,
There you go, 6th. Okay, quorum.
Go.
All right.
Okay.
So ideally,
Okay.
2,
Six.
6.
Yep.
And start time was
10.
10 after 10.
Yeah. So
10:15.
I have a remote meeting. I
Okay.
can be at SAU, just log into my meeting for half an hour and then be ready for 10 o'clock.
Okay.
And I can try to remote in from work
Okay.
and be part of
All
it.
right. Let's delete it.
So the 6th.
All right.
And then
So then this is a condensed, now this is condensed, right? Remember we had all these dates? So once we get through that, Jeff is suggesting that we hold the meet and greet on February 10th with the town members. Where the candidates are here at the school, and the whoever shows up rotates in rooms and they do their presentations, and then we can have maybe some cafeteria.
So my only question is, that's a school day. Have
Right.
we run this by? To make sure we have.
I'm just running it by right now. I just.
No, to make sure that we have rooms available if we're trying to do this during the school day.
I don't think we're trying to do it during the day. It would be at night.
Oh, okay. Okay.
What day are we talking about?
The 10th.
February 10th.
Oh.
Okay, fine. I misunderstood. I was thinking that was also
Yeah.
morning. Okay.
And what's the 10th event?
That would be the meet and greet in the evening for the community members.
Fantastic.
And the idea is because we have out of state, his idea was, if we have the community meet on the 10th, they can provide their feedback per the survey, right? Jeff and Bob from Zeal can get that information gathered for us. And then they'd stay over and then we would do our final interviews in person on the 11th.
Okay, so the 15th is out.
Nothing's out. I'm just telling you, Bob,
Yep.
based upon the fact that, we have one less member,
Yep.
he was trying to propose something that condenses the meetings.
Right.
Right, so we can get this accomplished before March, which was what the goal was.
Okay.
So ideally, February 10th would be the meet and greet. Solicit feedback, and then we would do finalist interviews on the 11th in person.
Mhm.
Those candidates that are finalists would stay over. And then following the interviews, the board will deliberate, and we select a finalist on the 11th.
Okay. And on the 10th, what time?
To be determined. It's
But
after
Evening.
But an evening?
evening.
Okay.
Yeah, we'd have to work on, because I think at one of the meetings, if I recall, we committed to try to get some childcare here.
Yep.
I forget how we said we're gonna.
Club.
Yeah, we were going to ask Key Club once we finalized the date and time, I think. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be at the Massachusetts State House that afternoon. So
Yep.
as soon as we know what time,
Yep.
we're gonna travel back from Boston.
I like that schedule actually better. That we moved it out of the 15th up to
Yeah.
the 10th, followed by the 11th. I like that.
I do as well.
Yep.
As soon as we know time, we just gotta alert because we told them we were doing something.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So now that we know that we're tentatively not, and we're moving it.
Yeah, we can blast it out.
Yep.
And then that same day, once we select a finalist, we'd initiate third-party background check, and then, we can negotiate an offer. And March 9th, we'd be a special board meeting to appoint the candidate on March 9th, or we can move that up.
Right. And I think at that February 11th meeting, because it will be a publicly noticed meeting, we could discuss if we want to move the date up we can
Yeah,
discuss at that point. And then. yeah, we
Just
can-
pending background. We have to leave time for
Yeah,
that.
we'll just make sure that, we'll
I
just
don't
have,
think we'd have to wait till March though.
I don't think so either. I think typically they run, what, a couple weeks?
A little faster this time of year, but about 2 weeks. Yeah.
So-
There is a home and away basketball game on the 10th
Oh.
of February. I can reach out to Ryan and have him adjust that.
Well,
if
what
you would like?
time? Well,
February 10th, varsity is at,
Yep.
so potentially you could have some that could hit, because it'll be open for, I'm guessing it'll be open for at least a couple of hours, right?
I think you said 30 minutes each candidate, so like.
Okay.
Do we want to make sure we have enough people for the 11th?
I can do
the 11th, I can also tell you is the first day of the National Superintendent's Conference. So that may be a candidate conflict as it
Oh,
would be
yeah.
for the one sitting in this room, but I'll move my flight, obviously, but it just, but the basketball game can probably be moved to the day.
Did they not know that there was a conference on that day?
Do we have February 9th?
He does, he's going. Jeff's going. I'm assuming he's already like run this by,
Okay.
or at least the ones that he's whipping it down to.
Okay.
I'll bring that concern back to him though.
Yeah. I mean, if we needed to move the meet and greet,
I'm sorry, the conference starts on what date?
The 11th.
So if we need to fast forward this forward, I could be available the 9th and 10th instead of the 10th and 11th, if that would help out. So it could be the meet and greet with the community on the 9th that doesn't conflict with basketball games.
I could do the same.
And then the 10th could be the date where we make our decision. And then that would allow, I would assume, all of the candidates to still be able to go
Yep.
to the conference
Mhm.
and not impact any of them or have them have to change.
So I could do 9, 10, or 10, 11.
I can't do the 9th or the 10th during the day, but I can do a meet and greet.
Okay. I think both of them are, so the 9th would be evening, the 10th would be 2 PM.
You good for the 9th or 10th or no?
I mean, I'll be in the State House until
On which date?
the 10th.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay.
Awesome bar.
Belgium?
I got basketball games, but
Rick, did he happen to mention how long he thought the final interviews would take?
I guess his suggested on the 11th.
Yeah,
1 hour.
I know
1 hour
1 hour per
per
person.
person. Yeah. He said, and he suggested we start at 2 o'clock, but
Right.
I mean, if you guys want to start later, we can.
Well, I know Heather, if we move it to
I'm good.
the 10th, she can't start anything on the 10th until, you said you're in,
I'm at the State House it's from 1 to 3 and getting out of Boston.
Yeah, you'll be
Yeah.
5:36 before.
So I'm just saying I could do is the 11th for the interview. So, but again, I'm going to go on the 6th. So I'm going to know, you know what I mean? So if I miss the second day, it's not.
well, could you from the car, phone in to still be part of it?
I mean, yeah, I have Bluetooth abilities.
Right. I'm just wondering if that would be an option.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back.
'Cause I don't-
And the main thing is we're gonna ask to move this from the 10th and 11th to the 9th, correct?
Yep. Because of the conference, I guess.
Yeah.
But I guess we need to
Well,
find
but
out.
I heard basketball game and super conference,
Right.
right? Superintendent conference, 2 reasons why we want to move it. correct?
Basketball game could move up a day, but
Well, I'm just gonna go back with that. I'll email him tonight. And then, we're looking at the 6th to start at 10 AM.
Mhm.
All right, I'll have answered. final.
Can, send me a link for that to be able to attend remote.
Yeah, I'll just, remote links for all meetings.
Yeah, that would be fantastic if the board could have remote links for all, obviously, other than the meet and greet. Okay.
All right, that's it for the update. Thank you. I'll get this to them Right,
Rick.
and then hopefully get an answer by tomorrow.
Fantastic. And so Phyllis, now that we have set 5:30 for the 26th, could you notice that publicly? Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, fantastic.
Thank you, Phyllis.
And the 27th.
Well, we don't have a time for the 27th yet. Right?
But we had 4.
No, I think Phyllis was gonna reach out and we're
Yeah.
gonna
Oh, right,
gauge
right.
a start time, then
Yes.
whatever time.
Yep, no earlier than 4.
Awaiting Phyllis.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Just taking more action items.
Phyllis is right on it and we love Phyllis. All right. So now we are to our second public comment.
My name is Gretchen Solomon. I am a resident of Newton, New Hampshire, and I'm a teacher at the high school, and I've been teaching math for 19 years. I have attended or watched the budget committee meetings, and I have spoken at 2 of them. The graphs and charts that they have created based on projected enrollment are not statistically sound. They are using a 3-piece data set to extrapolate out 10 years without considering factors such as future housing developments that could improve enrollment. They have based many cuts to administrators, guidance counselors, and teachers on this. They have also looked at class sizes and made additional recommendations for cuts. They have stated that class sizes need to be higher, but they have not discussed any potential reasons why this could be the case. A data-driven decision should consider all aspects of the data, not just the number in a classroom. Those numbers represent students. Considerations such as high achievers, low achievers, special education, differentiation among learners, accommodations, supports, and managing behaviors are all part of the classroom. This is as much part of the data as the number itself. I hope you will take these additional factors into consideration when determining classroom sizes and therefore potential cuts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pam Brown, Kingston. So I happened to go to the budget hearing last Thursday and had obtained a copy of the slides that were presented. And I didn't notice anything explosive in them. They're fairly orthodox slides, similar to past hearing slides. There were only 3 slides that were new. One of them actually shows our test scores are rising, which is a good slide and actually is something I think you would agree would be helpful. And one was enrollment trends, which came right out of the superintendent's budget presentation. Nothing odd there. And the 3rd slide was showing the housing affordability gap, which I believe was to be nice to a new budget committee member, Shane Queenie, who had done a lot on housing affordability in our 2 towns. And he just showed that the income levels for Kingston and Newton are far below the affordability of a home in our towns. And that might explain why it's difficult for new families to move in. So those were the 3 slides that might have been a little different from past year's slides, but everything else was the same. And then finally, as far as the inflation slide goes, which has been in there for a while, I think it was very hurtful that one of the audience members accused the chair of being weaponizing data, because the inflation slide we've been using shows the entire budget's been going up more slowly than inflation. Everything else held constant, that's great, but enrollment's been declining. So I believe one of the budget committee members suggested using per pupil spending over time and comparing that growth to inflation. And if you do that, the cumulative total is 45% increase compared to inflation's 24.68%. So that can happen over time. I mean, there's reasons, there's mandated reasons such as special ed costs going up, no doubt about that. but I think it's a more accurate way to measure growth in spending. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pam.
Thanks, Pam.
I just want to just go through a couple things real quick. Because I'm sure people couldn't see the slides referencing.
For reference, Rick Adelman, Kingston.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Rick Edelman, Kingston. Two boys in the district. So this thing here, the assessment score, I think it was rising, yeah. The main problem with this is what I saw was this graph or these descriptions down here don't really go in any sort of order. They're actually all over the place as far as order, ELA district, ELA state, Mass state, like so that they make sense for voters. I would recommend that they actually get aligned. So you're describing ELA district, ELA state, math district, math state, science district, science state. And I do think that, yeah, we should speak when we're presenting these slides, they should be presented that this is a great thing and a fantastic thing. That's one of the issues. That's all I had. Weaponizing wasn't a word I used, by the way. I just want to make sure that's clear.
I used it today.
Yeah, I said a narrative's not based on facts. That's what I said.
Yeah, and to be clear, when I said weaponizing, I wasn't talking about the imposed flags. I was talking about the single data point of cost, which I think I called a red herring last time. Tonight I said weaponizing.
It's your turn. Go ahead.
I have a long and detailed presentation. It'll be about 45 minutes. You guys ready?
Well, you have 5. Can you summarize?
I can certainly do that. James Hasselbeck, Kingston, 4 kids in the district. I'm going to try and go in order because you guys covered a lot tonight. Thanks. Just want to celebrate 8.3 allowing the town to vote in here. I know that there are some complexities with logistics, but I'm confident you can solve them. I think it's a really great opportunity to bring all of our taxpayers and show off some of the great things that you do here. And I hope you take that opportunity. Thanks. Open enrollment. This is tricky, right? And I totally understand the challenges of trying to make a plan when things are not yet certain. Yesterday, I was potentially planning for 200% tariffs on some European imports, and today that is not a thing. So, that's good news, right? But I think that being able to plan in a period of uncertainty is increasingly important, but it's hard, right? But what we do know is that the state of New Hampshire is increasingly moving towards open enrollment, right? There is a law that is passed, right, last year at the September, October or something, saying that this has to be a thing and it has to show up in school budgets. And while it is absolutely true and accurate that specific legislative language on school choice and open enrollment remains in flux, it's going that way, right? That's a priority of our governor. That's a priority of many members of our House and Senate. So we should plan for some movement that way. And if we do it well, I think it's actually a really incredible opportunity, a positive opportunity for Sanborn. So I'm a private sector guy, and what I know for sure is that being first is often really difficult. And as you highlighted earlier in the meeting, there were other districts that had put this into place. So first is over, but being early is really important. And I think that if we are early, right, and figure out a way to make Sanborn an attractive receiver of students in both neighboring and distant districts, it can be a real asset, not only in helping increase our student body and reducing the taxpayer burden, it can be something that allows us to invest in our teachers, in our classrooms, in our curriculum without impacting Kingston or Newton taxpayer dollars. So I would really encourage the board to continue to explore a warrant article this year, which allows flexibility to aggressively pursue open enrollment in line with whatever legislation might happen. So I know it's hard, but it's a great way to increase district enrollment. Last thing, I was also at last week's budget meeting. I share several concerns that I think you guys nearly addressed almost all of them. I think, I listened to your discussion here tonight too, and sounded to me like you get classic governance, right? So school board is accountable for the district's budget. Superintendent is responsible, right? Accountable equals outcome oriented, responsible equals how you get there. So I really appreciate the school board taking control of both that presentation and the information provided to the districts. There were several pieces of information there that absolutely colored a taxpayer's ability to make a good, educated decision. And I have high hopes that that can be corrected. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, James.
All right. There's no one else jumping up here. So the next meeting of the Sanborn Regional School Board will be held at says to the deliberative session. So we start with a board meeting at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, February 4th. And then at 7 p.m. So at 6 p.m. it will be in the auditorium. And then at 7 p.m. we will transition to the deliberative session. And then I believe when that is finished, and tentatively I think I saw maybe 8-ish p.m. We're being hopeful. We're being optimistic. We're going to say ish. So it's not really specifically listed on here, but after that, the board will finish their meeting and the budget committee, I believe, will be heading into the library at the conclusion of the deliberative to hold their meeting. And then the fun one, the filing period for positions on the Sanborn Regional School Board, Sanborn Regional Budget Committee and District Moderator opened today, January 21st, 2026, and end on Friday, January 30th, 2026 at 5 p.m. The candidate filing forms may be obtained at the SAU 17 Central Office at 51 Church Street in Kingston. School District Clerk Phyllis will be available on the last day to file until 5 p.m. On other days, she is there until 4 p.m. And I think, did I get it all? I think so. Oh, and then hold on. The Budget Committee will hold their continuation of the public hearing on Thursday, January 22nd, 2026 at 7 p.m. in the auditorium at the Sanborn Regional High School. And then the first voting session of we talked about that. So the deliberative session is the voting session. And that's going to be at 7 p.m. in the auditorium. I just kind of tried to combine them all together.
The budget committee has a meeting tomorrow after their finish of their public hearing as well.
Okay.
And the Sanborn Community Organization will be having a meeting.
Also has a meeting tomorrow.
6 o'clock.
Correct.
They're in here.
Yes. Okay. Well, if that didn't confuse everybody, hopefully it's on the district website listed out a little clearer than I just gave it. So
Make a motion, move us into non-public RSA 91-A, ;3, Roman numeral 2, AL.
You know what?
Yes. ALAD.
I feel like we might need
I need a salad.
I have my list in front of me.
Phyllis. Is it C or B?
I'll do B and C.
There you go.
Yes, because we are talking. Yes. Okay.
So,
Thank you.
Non-public session RSA 91-A, 3, Roman numeral 2, ABLBC. ALBC.
I think we got it.
Second.
Song LBC.
I don't know. All right.
It's in,
That was Rick.
it's in regulate.
So we will, we'll roll call in. So Jeremiah.
Yes.
Micah.
Yes.
Rick.
Yes.
Myself. Yes. Heather.
Yes.
The minute you said it.
Okay. Fantastic.
The LBC.
Do you need to stay in here or can we in there? Or?